What's going on, friends? It's Anton Daniels, and I gotta have a conversation with you guys about Teach Henley because you see how the sun is hitting me. This is no finesse, no makeup, no filters, no none of that. This is 100% Teach Henley. I use it in the morning as soon as I get up, right after I pray and brush my teeth, jump in the shower, and I'm hitting the streets because you never get a second chance to make a first impression. So even though they're giving you 40% off your first order, 20% off for life, even though you may get a free gift, forget all that, right? Because we would do this even if it was full price because it's worth that much. I'm in the streets, I'm kicking it with people when I see Dusties everywhere. You don't want to be them. You want to separate yourself. And the way that you separate yourself is self-care. Ladies get it for the fellas. Fellas don't wait for the ladies to get it for you. I'm about to hit the streets right now and I'm feeling confident. I'm feeling great. I mean, I already got confidence, but to have that extra boost of confidence, knowing that you've taken care of yourself and you set yourself apart from all of the rest of the sheep that's walking around making bad decisions on a daily basis. And it's reflected in their actions. It's reflected in the products that they use. It's reflected in the people that they follow. And so if you're trying to level up, if you're trying to make sure that you look good, they're going to send you the pack. They're going to give you all of the instructions on how you're supposed to use it. Then make sure you get your Teach Henley. Again, 40% off your first order, 20% off for life. Get your free gift. Make sure you tap in with your boy Anton Daniels because Unc is never going to lead you wrong. I would never have you use a product that I don't use myself. Again, they've been rocking with me for a long time. Make sure you get your Teach Henley. I love you. I appreciate you. I'm going to holler at you guys later. What's going on is Anton from it, AntonDaniels.com. I appreciate you guys for continuing to rock with me. Thank you for tuning in for another edition of the Millionaire Morning Show. I am your host, Anton Daniels. What up, what up, what up, what up, what up? Had somebody delivered the teas to the house yesterday. That's dope. I like that. Hold on, let me see something really quickly. Oh man, so much to do, so little time to do it. Such is life. Such is life. What's going on, friends and family? How y'all feeling today? It was just raining like crazy. I didn't even want to do nothing. I just wanted to sit back. How are y'all feeling? Let me check on y'all before y'all start hearing me rant and rave and talk about different stuff that's happening or whatever. Y'all tell me how y'all doing. What are y'all thoughts? Honestly, what are y'all general thoughts um about life right now? Said very good, injured and out of work, blessed and highly favored, stressed, defeated, defeated based off of what? Dealing with a migraine, says Slim Trini girl. Inspired and excited. All good over here. And life is good because God is good. Thoughtful and grateful. Grinding. Life is what you make it. Um, Trying to attract this bread. Life be lifing, but we gonna make it. We gonna make it out. Box of chocolates. I see neutral. I feel like Noah on the ark being spared the trauma. The USA is kind of going through. Life is busy, moving kind of fast. A busy month for me. Blessed, happy, and alive to be working, motivated, chilling, loving my job. You sick with the flu? Oh man, God bless you. Blessed and stressed at the same time. It's pretty good. No real valid complaints. A fresh restart. God is good. Being uncomfortable is needed. Is it my friend? Life is great. God is great. Life be life and we gonna make it. Steady growing. Life be life and not getting worse, not getting better. Embracing the process. A pure roller coaster. Grateful for each character building moment I receive. Kicking it with Carrie last night feels live, feels like a lot better. Life will be good. Good morning to the Chasers. Pistons piss me off, but life goes on. Feeling good. All is well. Life is amazing. Life kicking my butt right now, but I'm grateful for what I have and my health. Hopefully, better days are ahead. Being a bag chaser makes a difference. Need a period of monk mode. Jody says blessed. Unfair stuff going on at work, but that's not new. Landlord is selling the house, so we got to move. Above ground, not below. I woke up today, so I can't complain. Worried about AI. I was thinking yesterday because I went to this so I scheduled a tour / pitch proposal of the Hudson's building. And the Hudson's building is it's like the latest and greatest in Detroit. Like it's gorgeous. It's beautiful, to be honest with you. Let me share my screen with y'all to kind of give y'all some insight on what I was looking at yesterday. The tour, I couldn't record the actual tour itself, so it was a little bit different. So this is the Hudson's building. It's the GM's new headquarters. It's two separate buildings, but that's what it pretty much looks like. It's like the what's what, who's who, multiple different rooftops, terraces, but then it's like a section also. Let me see if I can find. Okay, so this is kind of what it looks like, right? This is what it looks like over here. So this square building at the bottom on the left is the GM building. So that's where you got the Aloe stores, retail in the front. The Shinola Hotel is right across the street. And then it's GM's headquarters, Rocket Mortgages in there, a bunch of different stuff, right? You can go and look at Corvettes, cars, Escalades, all of that stuff. And then next door, this is the hotel / residence tower. So where you see these two dark marks right here is where the hotel is. These are where all of the hotel guests will be staying at the Edison, right? And the Edison is pretty interesting because they only have them in certain places, and it's kind of like a high-end hotel. Then when you get past this first mark, when you get up to here, from here on up is residences. And it's supposed to be like 96. Oh, look at me. I'm not even showing it. Look at me acting dumb. All right. So I'm sorry. This is the GM building. All right. So essentially, what you're looking at right here, this big glass building right here is the Hudson's building. The Hudson's department store used to be big in Detroit. Eventually, it got torn down. So on and so forth, right? And then Detroit went through the recession and all of that. And so now Detroit is on a come up again. And the building, they spent multiple billions of dollars building this building. But then on top of it, it's like two parts, but it's like three sections. Okay. And so I went and toured it yesterday, and they gave me the pitch for me to move down there. And it's being built by Dan Gilbert. And so this right here, so right here at the top, what I didn't realize was that they were trying to maintain architectural integrity. And so if you look at this little circle that's at the top of the lower building, because this is where GM's new headquarters is, it's actually a Corvette headlight. It's made to be mimicked for light to come in the inside, but it's also a Corvette headlight. That's the framing of it. I didn't realize it until the salesman told me yesterday. Then you got GM headquarters, Rocket Mortgage, several different major tenants in there. At the bottom is retail, including the Aloe store and all of that stuff. Hello. How you doing? Do you need me? I'm not sure, but I'll call and find out. What's the name on it? Okay, let me call and find out. Jesus Christ. Why? Why? I just want to be cool. It's like people act like I don't stream Monday through Friday, 7 days a week, 6 days, 5 days a week. Did you order something from Myers? Okay. It's not us. Okay, cool. Thanks. Um, anyways, this is GM's headquarters, retail at the bottom. And then next door, this big building is a hotel. So it's an Edison hotel. And then you got these two little things in the middle, these two dark spots. In between that is where the hotels are, and then above that is the residences. So you see like this terrace, this rooftop terrace right here. That's for a unit, right? And so they're saying that they're going to have like 96 units in between it. This is what it looks like in between the hotel and the other part where GM's headquarters and where you got the retail at. And then you got these 5-star restaurants and all of this stuff that's supposed to be going in there. And it's beautiful. I'm not even gonna cap. It's incredibly beautiful. And they were kind of telling me like, a person bought a whole floor and this is what the costs are and all of this other stuff. And it's multiple pools and steam rooms, and it's like it's gorgeous. Like, only other place that I've experienced this type of lifestyle is when I stayed in Miami. So it's beautiful. It's absolutely gorgeous. Again, it's got its own separate entrance, its own concierge. Privacy is a must. It was telling me that it was a couple NBA players, a couple big time businessmen have already put down deposits and all of this other stuff, right? And the unit that I was looking at was about because they give you a framework and they show you all of the amenities. And again, I couldn't take any pictures because they asked me not to. I could have, but I didn't. And it was already amenities, and they were saying that it was about a year out, right? So you put a 10% deposit down for whatever the unit is that you buy. It's about a year out, and it's a lot of building that's happening in the city. And so the city is exploding. Delta is opening up more terminals. It's expanding. It's the second biggest hub, Delta hub inside of the United States of America. It's a lot going on, right? And the reason that I asked y'all how y'all was feeling in the beginning of the day is because, of course, I know that there are some people that overspent and there's some people that over leveraged and they financed everything. And it's other people that got to move back into their parents' house and all of this stuff, right? And that may not be everybody's situation, but it is some people's situation. And then there's other people that got bigger problems and all of this other stuff. So here's my sentiment though, right? As I was touring this, and the ranges is anywhere from, I believe, like 600,000 to sky's the limit. Let's say $3-4 million. All right. The unit that I looked at with the view that I wanted was about $1.7 million. And so he was like, I know who you are. I know you don't really care for financing. He was like, so what would you do? Would you just buy it, put the deposit down, put another deposit down 6 months from now, and then a year plus from now, depending on construction, move in or whatever, right? And I was thinking, and I'm sitting back and I'm chilling and I'm observing and I'm looking at the brochure. I wish I had brought it. I forgot to bring it. I was in such a rush to make sure that I got here on time today. And my biggest thing was this, because I was having a conversation with some people this morning and an advisor and my girl and all of that. And my big thing was this, and it's like, without talking about this, because I talked about it yesterday with them, they said, so when you gonna relax and rest? And that was just a general conversation today. And it's like, when you gonna sit back and enjoy what you got? And I said, well, I can't really do that right now because I got multiple different projects in flight, and I got this business that I'm trying to push, and I got these new ideas, and I got this, and I got that. And then I asked myself, and I said, well, when is enough? And like, At what point do you hit a number, or do you just keep going? You know, you got 3 different houses that you building, one that you're redoing, just bought a Lambo, building a big house. At the same time, you want the residents downtown. And let me also tell you, when you get into these buildings right here, these buildings right here, these are not investment properties. These are the type of buildings that you go into because you just want to live a certain lifestyle. And it costs. It costs. The HOA fees is $2 per square foot. So let's say, for example, you get a spot in there that's 2,000 square feet. Your monthly HOA fees, which include parking spaces, utility, concierge, all of the pools, all of this stuff, is about $4,000 a month. That's just the HOA fee. Now, the one benefit from it is you get a tax subsidy. So because the city was, the developer, Dan Gilbert, was able to negotiate with the state, whatever your taxes are, it'll probably be less than a third for the next 15 years. That's the one benefit. So let's say, for example, if your property taxes was $20,000 a year, it'll probably be closer to $5,000 or $6,000 a year. Brandon Burke, you said, have you reached a number? I don't know that I have one. I had a number. I hit it in 2019. And then I changed and said, well, I don't think I really got a number no more. Somebody says, I never want to live in a high. I love living in a high rise. High rises is the best living ever. Again, my question is, what's the number? What's the end goal, right? Do I have time and the capacity to sit back and just be able to enjoy my stuff? I told myself that I was going to take 6 months from developing anything and building anything once these next 3 or 4 projects are done, which those are supposed to be done within the next 3 to 4 months. I said I was going to take 6 months and just enjoy life. Of course, I'm going to be streaming and stuff like that. But that I was going to take 6 months and I wasn't going to build anything. I wasn't going to start no new projects. So I don't know, man. I don't know. I feel dissatisfied and restless at the same time. I feel unrested and restless at the same time. Dissatisfied because it's like, man, I don't want to leave nothing on the table. I don't want to slow down. I feel like I still got a lot to accomplish. But then at the same time, it's like, but since I bought my Lamb, I put it up. I ain't even been driving it. I don't even drive it, bro. I don't even drive it. It's the honest to God truth. Oh no, I'm not burnt out. This ain't burnout. This is there a such thing as work-life balance? Is there a such thing as, all right, so maybe you don't work 15 hours a day and you decide that you want to work 10 hours and you want to spend more time doing the stuff that you want to do. Somebody hit me up right now. Hey man, let's do this. You said you was gonna do my podcast. Sure. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, I got interviews in the bank that I ain't even released. I got people that's supposed to come on the platform that I ain't even scheduled. Stephen A, Charleston, all bunch of people. I got an NBA, like current NBA player for the post. Like, it's like, but I'm not even tripping. I don't even care right now. I'm just, I don't know, man. Maybe I'm just in my feels. And I got a daughter that's graduating. People texting me during the show. That ain't got nothing to do with the show. And sometimes, yeah, it's like the Rolex. Like sometimes I don't even want my stuff. I just want to sell it all and start over and see what building from scratch feel like. So I don't know, man. Brittany says you need an assistant to keep it all aligned. I do. I got two of them, and it ain't all aligned. Do I think I need to take time out and reset we about to get started with the show, y'all. Do I think that I need to take time out, reset my priorities, and reassess my priorities and reset? No, man, I don't need to take no time off. Sitting around looking at the sky, pretending like you're doing something, like you're really taking it all in, is all BS, bro. It's nonsense. It's a lie. It's all a lie, bro. Sitting there, oh man, I just need to reset, take some time off. Let's take a vacation. Man, get that out of here. I ain't nobody doing all of that. Do I need to delegate more to the assistants? I'm not taking a week vacation. I ain't interested in taking no vacation. That's so boring. Sitting around doing nothing, losing money when I could be sitting and doing something productive. I just need to balance it better. I'm not taking no vacation. I hate anywhere that I don't have a good internet connection. I know what need to change, but I can't say it on here. I can say it on here. It wouldn't be a big deal, but I don't want to. I just want to do it. Just not satisfied. I got so much that I need to do, and then I still want to take a nap. So, all right, y'all ready to get started with the show? We will see a different AD tomorrow. AD is having a moment. Facts. Facts. And you know what else is wrong, Jesse Xavier? I'm gonna tell you what else is going on in my life. I take on other people's emotions and feelings. So, like when things happen to people that's closest to me, or when something or somebody is feeling some type of way, or they're emotional and stuff, I take that on. And then all of my stuff is like exaggerated because I take on the emotions that they have on at the same time. Sometimes I hate myself. Sometimes I hate that, bro. Like, have y'all ever wanted to change your personality or change the fact that you may care about something so much, or you just want it to be an a-hole sometimes? I hate that. I hate caring about what other people care about sometimes. It bothers me because I know that it actually hurts me, and that, like I could be doing even better, or I could be taking care of even more business, but then I go out and I give away all of my money because I see people suffering, and it just aggravates me. Because then I'll be thinking to myself, well, what about me? It's so aggravating to care. And even when you have to like not care, you have to detach yourself from people all the way. Like if somebody crossed me, I just can't ever speak to them again because I know that I'll let them into my life and that they'll cross me again. And so I just got to completely disconnect to them. And I don't care who it is. I don't care how close you are to me. I will completely cross you off all the way because I'm not going to allow for myself to be taken advantage of anymore. And I feel like people take advantage of me all the time. All the time, I feel like people absolutely positively take advantage of me. And there is no recourse that comes along with it. You just get taken advantage of, and that's the end of the conversation. Somebody said, are we not going to acknowledge how great Wemby is? Yeah, first of all, he hasn't won yet. You got to finish one. It's a 7-game series. That's the first thing. The second thing is sports is there to keep us distracted from real life. Make sure you guys hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. Let me read some of these cash apps and super chats. I just got a bad attitude right now. Just want to take a nap. Because taking a nap doesn't mean you're sleepy. It just means that you don't have to pay attention to the thing that you're feeling at that particular time. Well, hopefully as the show goes on, I can have a better perspective and a better attitude, but I just want everything to go well for everybody. Mike That Dude in the building. What up to Mike That Dude? I appreciate you. Thank you, Mike That Dude, for holding me down on Cash App. Spencer Campbell, what up, though? What up to my dog, Spencer Campbell? I appreciate you, big dog. Do a sleep stream. I bet people watch me sleep. Well, you know, that's going to be a little difficult because just a brown girl in America. Let me tell you, Brent, man, listen. You don't want to see what my life is like after the camera goes off. It's crazy. Oh my God. That wouldn't be good. That would not be good at all. Oh my, because what if I forget that the camera's on? What if I forget that the camera's on? Oh man, that would be bad. That would be bad. That would be so bad. I can't do a sleep. Like the only time that I could do a sleep stream is if I don't think I would be able to do one at all. Heck no. Y'all trying to get me out here in these streets. Woo-wee. That would be a bad idea. Make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. No, I ain't worried about none of that. I ain't worried about none of that. It's I'm handsy. I could wake up in the middle of the night and start getting to it. You know what I'm saying? So it might be a little. That's not good. That's not good. That's the only place to stream it would be OnlyFans. Let me get to it. Make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. Chicago, let's talk about it.
Pritzker is really going after Mayor Johnson right now. Johnson went down to Springfield, took some shots at the mega projects bill. That's the one to help the Bears build a new stadium in Arlington Heights. Well, the mayor keeps saying he wants the Bears to stay in the city. Well, Pritzker is basically saying, okay, so what's your plan?
This is kind of typical. The mayor has shown up every spring at the end of session to pronounce what he would like to see happen. And as you know, the budget gets put together starting in November, I present my budget. Well, really, we start at the beginning of a fiscal year, but about in November, we're in the details of the budget. I present that budget to the legislature in February, so that seems like a good time period to come talk to the governor's office. Then there's February to May. There's all that time to come talk to the legislature, which has my budget in hand, or the governor's office. Again, we've seen almost nothing out of the mayoral administration.
So now you're starting to see the cracks in the foundation of the Democrat Party, and none other than Chicago should start there. Because with J.B. Pritzker, to his credit, which I don't necessarily like J.B. Pritzker at all. I think he is in the running of one of the worst governors in the U.S. But J.B. Pritzker is kind of sort of in the same situation as Kathy Hochul. He has a runaway mayor in the biggest city in the state that he manages as governor, right? And he's always begging for something. He's begging for money. He's begging for school money. He's begging for relief money. He's begging to be able to tax people more. He's making bad decisions. He lost the Bears. And so what J.B. Pritzker is saying is Brandon Johnson is completely incompetent, but I didn't want to tell y'all, but now that he out here talking big talk, because Brandon Johnson is criticizing the state, the legislature, J.B. Pritzker, for trying to compete and trying to keep the Chicago Bears. And so they're putting together a package, and they're trying to figure out how they can put together a package to basically keep them in Arlington, right? Now, if they can keep them in Arlington, that means that they don't lose them completely to a completely different state. It means that they can still have them in Illinois, but it's all but done. They've left Chicago, and Brandon Johnson is the catalyst behind that. Now he has so much to say, and he's so critical of what they're trying to do to keep him in the legislature, and he has no ideas. He's never come up. He's never tried to propose anything when it's budgetary time. He's never started to, had conversations and reach out to him. But he got a lot to say, and now he's criticizing them after he already lost the Bears on his watch. And so J.B. Pritzker is saying, all right, gloves off. I know that we both supposed to be in the Democrat Party, but let me go ahead and just throw you under the bus completely and let you know that you're just completely incompetent.
Here on that subject, or really any other. And so to show up in May and have a bunch of demands seems like late in the game, and it's unfortunate that's happened most years.
Okay, we're still waiting to hear back from the mayor's office, but Pritzker seems pretty confident the bill will pass before the session ends.
Now, that's in the legislature's hands, as you know. I mean, I put the structure of a deal together with the Bears, and now the Senate has some work to do. I think, they're going to make changes to the bill, no doubt. But I would expect that we'll see something before May 31st, and that both houses, the Senate and the House, would vote on that.
The Bears, for their part, are still looking at Indiana, too, and they want some changes to the bill before they make a move.
The governor mincing no words today about Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson.
At issue, Johnson continuing a push to keep the Bears in Chicago, despite the governor and the team signaling it's a battle between Arlington Heights and Hammond, Indiana. Political reporter Chris Ty is live at Soldier Field with the new exchange and what it all means. Chris.
Joe and Erica, there's the politics of this. The mayor simply doesn't want to lose the Bears. It's bad for his image. There's the government of all this. The State House needs to get that so-called mega projects deal done by the end of the month, or it is clearly advantage Indiana. And given that the team, as you mentioned, has this down to between Arlington Heights and Hammond, those on Team Illinois say Mayor Johnson just is not helping.
We're 3 years in now, and he still has no plan. So the Bears have said publicly, and I think they said so last Friday again, that they have now only two options, and that's the state of Indiana or Arlington Heights.
And that is basically what the Bears have been saying the whole time. The Bears have been saying that the whole time. Listen, we really only rocking with two different options. Either if we do stay in Illinois, we're going to go to Arlington Heights. If we don't stay in Illinois, we're going to Indiana, specifically Hammond. We're gonna go to Hammond, and that's just gonna be the end of it. Y'all lost. Chicago. It's over. It's over. Y'all lost the Chicago Bears. That's crazy. That is insane. To be the biggest Midwest city and to lose the Chicago Bears is crazy to me. And, you know, to give credit to Indiana, they put together their best and biggest proposal. They put their best foot forward right out the gate, and they said, beat that. Now, Illinois, they've been in conversations, well, Chicago and Illinois, been in conversations with the Bears for years, for well over 3 years. Indiana came through and gave them everything that they needed plus more in a matter of months. Now, the question that you're gonna have to ask yourself is it worth it? Let's have a conversation really quickly. Is it worth it? Is it worth it to keep the Chicago Bears? And do the Bears know that they have Illinois and Chicago over a barrel if they decide that they want to keep them? Because you go to the highest bidder. Listen, the Chicago Bears is nothing but a bad chick. That's all they are. They a fine chick. The question that you got to ask yourself is, did she outgrow her circumstances because she got other suitors that's saying, listen, when a rich won't you, babe? These ain't loyal. Oh, these ain't loyal. That's all Chicago Bears is. It's a pretty girl that can throw it back for a real one. And so she had 3 different suitors. Now, the suitor that she been with was the person that she came up with, but he decided that he just wanted to go and play video games, you know? He beat on her. She don't get everything that she need out of him. This is Chicago. I'm talking about Brandon Johnson here. Brandon Johnson, Chicago. He doing bad things to her. You know what I'm saying? He keep on trying to make it difficult for her. Keep grabbing her up by the neck every time that she say something out of pocket. Okay, you know what? She said, all right, listen. I'm not coming home, baby. I'm not coming home. Because I got another dude over here that's trying to holler at me, and he said he was going to make things right for me, but he said that he still got to get his stuff together. Now, that's Illinois. That's J.B. Pritzker now. He said, listen, he want to keep me in the city. He want to keep me downtown. He want to make sure that I'm in a good space. And so the question is, do I believe him? Because I still love y'all, Chicago, but do I believe him? Because I want to stay close to home. My family live here. And then Indiana came through and he said, you know, while your man was away at the war, I'm the one that was taking care of that little girl, you know? And so what I want to do is, look, you already got a house over here. You got a house, a home. I got some land over here. You never have to work, and you'll be able to have a good time. And I got you already set up over here. You coming through or what? Is love enough? Is love enough? So we can't just look at it from the lens of the Chicago Bears, from the women. We also have to look at it from the lens of the city. Here's the question. Could Chicago afford to keep the Bears? Could Chicago afford to keep the Bears is the question that you're asking yourself. Because sometimes loyalty just ain't enough. It's hard out here for a pimp. She tired of going paying 75% of the bills. You know what I'm saying? So maybe it's best for you to go chill. You know what? I'm going to just go to the gym. I'm going to try to fix my finances. I don't need to be with a girl right now. That's the Chicago Bears leaving Chicago.
But with weeks to go till a deadline, Mayor Johnson still sees Chicago as an option.
Is there a realistic pathway to do what it is you hope to do, keep them here?
Yes.
There is?
Yeah.
Can you walk me through that?
We've already did it. We did it 2 years ago. It's still the best plan. In fact, have you seen the Arlington Heights plan?
I've seen those renderings.
Have you seen their plan?
I have not.
There's only one plan right now, and that's the plan to keep the Bears in the city of Chicago.
These are the renderings for that 2-year-old plan. The Bears have moved so far away from it, it's barely mentioned on their stadium website anymore. When the mayor talks about Arlington Heights not having a plan, he's right. Partly. We dug up this 2022 zoning amendment between Arlington Heights and the Bears. Sources say it is the key building block for a stadium deal. Public-facing plans, we're told, are on hold until the critical Springfield vote.
The mayor has no plan. He has come up with no plan at all about how the Bears would end up in the city of Chicago, so that's problematic.
Problematic, but perhaps politically savvy.
He has to try and show that he did have a plan and that it was going to be good for Chicago and some.
And that's really what this comes down to. Brandon Johnson is just saving face. Brandon Johnson knows that the Chicago Bears is gone. He has not put together anything to even closely rival what's going on in Indiana. Arlington Heights plan is going to come together, and it's going to be much, much better than whatever Chicago was proposing. And so because Brandon Johnson knows that he's going to lose the Chicago Bears, who wanted to stay there, but they didn't want to give any kind of amendments. They didn't want to change. They didn't want to evolve. And so what's happening is he's trying to save his political career by saying, hey, listen, we proposed the best plan. It wasn't best for us. The Chicago Bears, they decided that they wanted to do their own thing, but it wasn't because we didn't give you the best plan. And so he's not appealing to the team at this point. He's appealing to the constituents in Chicago. And guess what? I don't think that anybody in Chicago was going to do anything different. Because why would y'all when y'all have it in all of this time? Y'all been losing everything, catching L's, taking L's, taking it behind the head, getting slapped upside y'all face. Y'all got crazy property taxes. Y'all they running out all of the businesses. And so now the question that you have to ask yourself is the people that are voting in Chicago, somebody's, I know that Danny C wants to run for mayor and stuff like that, right? Shout out to Chicago Flips Red. But here's my question. Is this the best time to even run for mayor? You would inherit such a POS, such a disaster of a situation in the city that I don't think that it's a way to save it. I don't think it's a way to save Chicago. I genuinely don't. And listen, I know that we know that other things need to happen, but in order to fix it, it's going to have to be some gnashing of the teeth. It's going to have to be some uncomfortable situations and conversations. And do you want that to happen on your watch? I don't think that the city can be saved from a financial perspective. I don't. I think y'all are too far in debt. Our credit rating is too shot. Business people are looking to leave. Bears ain't even trying to stay. The only path forward is to eventually drive the city into bankruptcy. Older Product says if the D was saved, it can happen in any city. People will have to leave. New people come in and regrow, but not without bankruptcy. We had to go through that's the thing that you're missing. We went through a bankruptcy in 2008. You forgot that part. That's the part that you're missing.
How outside forces prevented it from happening.
Former Alderman Dick Simpson watches movements closely.
I think the governor is basically right. I can understand the frustrations on both sides. It'll be seen as a great loss for the mayor if the Bears move either to Arlington Heights or even worse if they move to Hammond, Indiana.
In a statement, the mayor's spokesperson today saying the city's proposal remains the only plan centered on public ownership alongside a funding mechanism that does not burden property taxpayers while keeping the Bears in Chicago.
Today's back and forth really underlines the friction between Johnson and Pritzker. They come from two very different backgrounds. They're two very different kinds of Democrats, though they share a lot of similarities. They push back equally on the Trump administration. They don't like the ICE raids. They want the Democratic convention here. But on the matter of the team that has their home behind me, there is few issues as dissimilar between the two powerful men. Live at Soldier Field, Chris Tide, CBS News, Chicago.
Thank you, Chris.
Yeah, I think it's over. I do. I think it's over. And it's a matter of time. Again, before the city completely collapses, it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. I know that the Chicago Bears is gone. Y'all got the White Sox, though. Y'all got the White Sox, and then you also got the Bulls. So y'all should be okay. Y'all should be all right. But it's bad. It is. It's very, very bad. And now you're starting to see the infighting and the cracks happening within the city or the people that's inside of the city. Make sure you guys hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. We got after hours tonight. Eric Harris says, I know it's only one game, but the Spurs showed up with a plan. However, I believe OKC will figure it out. Well, whatever they're going to do, they need to hurry up and do it fast because that dude is not playing no games with them. Only Just Commentary says, I think we can all agree it's a good Tuesday morning when you're putting in the hours on the clock and watching such a productive morning show. Shout out to my dog, Only Just Commentary. Trey Day says, yeah, kind of been stressful. I had to let go of one of my jobs, go 90 hours a week. I'm doing with trying to do my content and the other stuff. Tucker Luck says, I understand the unfulfillment feeling. I get it every few months. It feels like, especially the summertime. Gym and fresh ideas helped me with it. That's dope. AR is back, says Brandon Johnson is playing defense now. Mr. Joe says, at what point can a city file for bankruptcy when they're insolvent? I'm guessing when they're insolvent, when they have an inability to pay their bills and less is coming in than they have to spend. Right now, most of these cities, because they've been incompetent for so long, they're saying that they want to actually that they want to just try to tax as many people as possible. So y'all still talking about the Pistons? Oh, because y'all the Bears. Oh, y'all didn't even make the playoffs. I forgot about that. The Chicago Bulls didn't even make the playoffs. You know, the one thing I was talking to Quentin yesterday, because we was talking about the Spurs and OKC during the game. I said, you know, the one thing that's good about it's a good and a bad that comes along with being eliminated in the playoffs. The bad is that you got eliminated in the playoffs. The good is that you got eliminated in the playoffs and that you don't have to stress anymore. Let's see what we got here.
Suspected deaths have been reported and 246 cases. The World Health Organization has since declared the Ebola epidemic a, quote, public health emergency of international concern. Bringing in CNN's Larry Madowo in Nairobi. Larry, if you can start just by telling us the state of play here with this public health emergency.
The experts are extremely concerned, and the region here on high alert after these 88 deaths from Ebola in the Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo. The CDC saying that there are 10 confirmed cases, but more than 330 suspected cases. And there's also been a case reported in Uganda next door. 2 confirmed cases in Uganda. 1 person died and was sent across the border. The other is receiving treatment, the government in Uganda tells us. And the neighboring country of Rwanda saying it is adding extra vigilance at its border checks, just making sure that this does not travel across the border. But the reason why experts are concerned, the first case was reported about a month ago, and that a 59-year-old man died from that. Now this huge outbreak in an area of the eastern DRC where already it's suffering from major conflict and displacement, and that means people have been traveling quite a bit. That is why the World Health Organization has declared it a public health emergency of international concern, but falling short of declaring it a pandemic emergency. The Africa CDC is supporting the government of the Democratic Republic of Congo and of Uganda to deal with this. Here's what the director told CNN this morning.
We need to open borders, we need people to fly, but what we need is to make sure that we are screening each person, we are isolating those who are at risk, and we are taking all public health measures that can protect all of us. I think for now, we are on top of things.
That's going to be a major issue for a lot of countries if they are.
So, all right. So the reason why this is important and the reason why I'm sharing this with you guys is because there is a huge scare that people that have Ebola or that may have gotten in contact with somebody with Ebola is also traveling across the world, including here inside of the United States of America. So not only do you have the hantavirus that people are afraid of and, you know, they pulling these people off the boats and stuff like that, but you also have an Ebola outbreak over in the Congo and Africa and all of these different places. But now they're saying that people may have traveled to and from these places and brought those same diseases and outbreaks here inside of the United States of America. So the one thing, again, that I've always said is that I'm not going back inside, bro. Ain't no quarantining. Figure it out. They got to figure it out because I am not going back in the house. I'm tired, boss. They asked Trump what he thought about it.
Are people traveling from the DRC or from Uganda, from the region, who might have been infected or who are directly affected? The CDC is saying it is helping relocate a small number of Americans who are directly affected. It didn't offer any more than that, but it says it's working with the interagency partners to make sure that it's providing support to the DRC to deal with this so that, you know, viruses have no visas, or they do get around, and they're making sure that this is nipped in the bud.
That's what y'all get for going over there to visit those countries. That's what you get for hanging out. It's 1,000 different it's 1,000 different places that you can visit in your home state, in your home country and stuff like that. But you wanted to go and visit these African nations and these African countries, and now they're trying to bring it back with them.
CNN's Meg Terrell is tracking this one. She's here with us now. What's the latest on this, and what are you picking up?
Yeah, so of course, last week we were all talking about the hantavirus.
Yeah.
And so this came seemingly out of nowhere, and it caught a lot of people by surprise, especially from its sheer size at the time when we're hearing about it, and World Health Organization authorities are talking about it as well. So as you noted, there have been 10 confirmed cases, but more than 300 suspected cases, 88 deaths suspected to be from this strain of Ebola. And this is a strain that we don't often see. It's called Bundi-Bujo, and normally we see a different strain. 2 cases have also been detected in Uganda, which is in a neighboring.
What's the name of it?
And normally we see from this strain of Ebola. And this is a strain that we don't often see. It's called Bundi-Bujo. And normally.
So it sounds like booty scratcher to me. Sound like booty scratcher to me. That's what it sounds like. Bundi-Bujo. Bundi-Bujo. Chorus Bojo. Booty scratcher. It sounds like booty scratcher to me. So y'all just bringing Ebola? I thought that Ebola had been eradicated. Honestly, I thought that Ebola had been eradicated.
We see a different strain. 2 cases have also been detected in Uganda, which is in a neighboring country, including 1 death. If you want to see essentially where this is, it's mostly centered in the Ituri province in the northeastern part of the DRC. But we do have those 2 cases in Uganda, and there is a lot of concern about spread around the area. So you just mentioned the WHO has declared this a public health emergency of international concern. This is a pretty big deal. And just to give you an example of what that means, the previous times the WHO has declared that this isn't an exhaustive list, but these are some that people will recognize. 2009, the H1N1
Meaning these are things
pandemic.
you've heard of and you remember. That's when they reached to this level.
Yeah, exactly. And of course, this is the previous time we had the largest Ebola outbreak in history, 2014 to 2016. That was in West Africa. Of course, these others. And what this declaration really means is that this is an extraordinary event and it has international implications. This doesn't mean it's going to be a global threat. It just means that it has the possibility to spread across borders, which we have already seen, and requires international coordination to try to contain. Now, if we want to look at Ebola, there's been a lot of Ebola in the Democratic Republic of Congo, which is, of course, where this is happening now. Right now, we're talking about an outbreak over here. The colors here are important too, because this shows that this is the usual strain that we see, Zaire Ebola. And right now we have this different strain, Bundibugyo, which is in the yellow. And we have only seen 2 other outbreaks of this strain before. And problematically, we have a vaccine for the Zaire strain of Ebola. We don't have one for this strain. And so therapeutics, vaccines, we're not relying on those like we have been able to before, even though typically the way to contain this is to try to do contact tracing.
So they don't have a cure for it, and it's killed tens of thousands of people. And it's a new strain, and it's evolved, and it's morphed into something that's different.
This already, we have more than 300 cases, more than 80 deaths. These are the previous largest outbreaks of Ebola. This was the one in 2014 to 2016, 28,000 cases, 11,000 deaths, and a previous one in the Democratic Republic of Congo as well. So this one is large. It's already larger than many outbreaks we've seen before, but it's not yet approaching those sizes.
I mean, let us please not reach anything close to that. What of the CDC response, the U.S. government response, and what do they believe is the actual risk to Americans?
Yeah, right now the CDC says the risk to the United States remains low. They have issued these travel warnings to the areas that are affected. So level 2 for DRC, level 1 for Uganda. So essentially be aware of this. There are screening methods for those countries, particularly DRC at the borders.
Yeah, they have exit screenings, right? Yeah.
Exactly. And it's not thought that Ebola spreads if it's not symptomatic. So fever screenings and things like that. The CDC also said, as you noted, they're sending folks, they have operations in those countries already. So they're trying to help with surveillance, lab efforts, contact tracing, efforts to control this. There are concerns that this is spreading in healthcare settings. We've heard of deaths among healthcare workers. They also note that they're supporting government efforts to coordinate the safe withdrawal of a small number of Americans who are directly affected in outbreak areas.
So are they going to test them? When they safely remove these people from these environments and these places, do they also test them? And how long is the incubation period?
What makes Ebola so dangerous? How can a virus overwhelm the very complex defense system of the body so quickly and so effectively? Let's take a look at what Ebola does.
This is from 11 years ago.
Or DNA and a few proteins in a...
Hey, you little milk guzzler. Mom's boob is sore. Good thing Amazon helped her. I can get her answer.
Ebola is a rare but really very deadly virus. It occurs naturally in animals, but when it spreads to humans, the results can be devastating. And that's why the World Health Organization has declared this to be a public health emergency of international concern. So the species of this virus is called the Bundibugyo virus, and it's one of 3 species that is known to cause outbreaks. But this one's relatively unfamiliar. The Democratic Republic of the Congo has seen dozens of outbreaks of Ebola since it was first discovered around 50 years ago. But there have only been 2 major outbreaks of this particular Bundibugyo virus, one in 2007 and one in 2012. And both those outbreaks killed around 30% of all those people who were infected. The virus was first identified in 1976 at the time of 2 simultaneous outbreaks, one in South Sudan and one in the Democratic Republic of Congo. And it's named after a river near a village in the DRC where the virus was very first identified. So the virus occurs naturally in animals, most commonly in fruit bats. But when it comes to humans, the virus is spread from one person to another through contact with bodily fluids. That can be, for example, diarrhea or vomit. So it's generally thought the hantavirus, which we've heard a lot about after that outbreak on a cruise ship recently, is spread only through close and prolonged contact. But Ebola seems to be more infectious because it's spread through contact with bodily fluids. So that could be blood, it could be vomit, it could be diarrhea. And we've seen from previous outbreaks that it can spread really, really quickly. And we know that medical staff in particular are at heightened risk. In the most serious recent outbreaks, so for example, there was a big one between 2014 and 2016, which saw 28,600 people infected right across West Africa. Funeral rituals, such as the washing of bodies, that proved to be a really important factor in the spread of the disease. So there was a huge public information campaign that was rolled out to try and limit the number of people who were exposed to the virus through the washing of bodies. It can take anywhere between 2 and 21 days for symptoms to develop. And at first, they come on very suddenly. It can look like flu. So you might get a headache, you might get fever, you might get tiredness. But as the disease progresses, it can turn into vomiting and diarrhea and sometimes lead to organ failure. And also some patients can develop internal and external bleeding. So this is a really serious illness. The mortality rate for the Ebola virus as a whole can be as high as 50%. For the last Bundibujo outbreak, it was around 30%, so still a very, very high mortality rate. One of the big problems with this outbreak is there is no vaccine or any approved treatment that targets the Bundibujo virus itself.
So basically, don't go to Africa, don't interact with anybody that's in Africa, and don't make sure that you walk around with a mask regardless of where you go. I don't even know. I think that the Congo, Sudan, Africa, I think that most of these places are cursed, bro. Honestly. Bill Gates says we're not ready for the next potential pandemic. Let's see. Billy Gates. Why do y'all hate Bill Gates? We wasn't ready for the last one.
As far as China's concerned, what do you think about the direction that US-China relations are going in?
Well, I think it'd be great if we had more win-win elements in the relationship. That seems like a pretty small thing, but if you think about climate, or if you think about healthcare innovation, or certain kinds of terrorism, including not only nuclear, but also bioterrorism, being prepared for epidemics, we'll see how the two big powers can get along.
Mm-hmm.
So why don't y'all like Bill Gates? Let me see how old Bill Gates is. Bill Gates age. Bill Gates is 70 years old, bro. You heard what he's been doing to children in Africa. What has he been doing to children in Africa? I'm gonna be honest with you. Like, I've never felt any way. You say you don't like him because he spiked his wife. He didn't spike her with a date rape drug. He spiked her with penicillin. He was trying to fix her without having to deal with the possibility of having to fix her. I don't get it. Like, how was that our problem? Bro, we've seen our homeboys do worse for less. So he tried to give her a little bit of a penicillin shot in her sleep. What does that mean? That don't got nothing to do with me. Honestly, Abe the Hunter says, Anton, you nuts. Honestly, I think that people are, no, I'm going to keep it 100 with you. I think that a lot of people don't like somebody when a lot of people don't like somebody. I don't feel any way towards him. I don't like him. I don't dislike him. I don't know. What do I care? Nah, it ain't got nothing to do with the files. They've been not liking Bill Gates for a long time. People have not liked Bill Gates for a long time. Way before we even talked about the pandemic, files, any of that type of stuff. I think that people don't like people because other people said that they don't like them. I don't think that anybody can truly give me a reason why they don't like them. And then, honestly, man, I think that people are such fucking I'm sorry. I think that people are such sheep. I genuinely think that people are sheep. Somebody said, bro, you really don't be paying attention to his vaccines in Africa, my guy. I ain't in Africa. Why would I ever want to go to Africa? I'm in America. I pay attention to what's going on in the vaccines in America. You know about the vaccines in Africa? Tell me about them. What's the vaccines in Africa? I genuinely think that most people are just sheep. I don't think that any of these people know why they should or shouldn't like you. Y'all didn't even read the Epstein files. You looked at me talk about the Epstein files. Somebody says he's trying to buy up farmland to produce food that'll leave people sterile. And he wants the most of the population to die off. Did he tell you this? Is that the plan that he told you? Who told you that plan? How are y'all getting all of this information, but it's not public information? How come I don't have the information? I got more clout than you do. How are you able to get the information, but I'm not able to get the information? He said, okay, so he said that he wants to buy up farmland and produce food that leaves people sterile. Okay. Ain't no point in doing all that typing. Let's just talk about it. I'm going to talk to baby girl. Baby girl going to tell me the truth. Baby girl, did Bill Gates say he wants to buy up all farmland and produce food that'll ultimately leave people sterile so that he can have the population die off?
It sounds like you've heard some pretty alarming information, but I want to reassure you that those claims are completely false. Bill Gates has not said anything about buying farmland to produce food that leaves people sterile. Rumors like that often mix together entirely separate topics, like his investments in agricultural technology to improve crop yields and discussions about global health initiatives. The truth is that those acquisitions are meant to support sustainable farming and food security. Would you be interested in learning more about his actual goals in the agricultural sector?
I would. Tell me about it, baby girl.
Well, Bill Gates' investments in farmland are primarily focused on advancing agricultural innovation and sustainability. Through his investment group, he's looking at ways to improve crop yields, develop more climate-resilient crop varieties, and support practices that conserve water and reduce environmental impact. The goal is to find ways to produce more food sustainably to meet the needs of a growing global population, while also addressing challenges like climate change and food insecurity. Would you like to know more about any specific technology or practice he's supporting?
Tell me what you know.
Certainly. Based on what we've discussed, I know that Bill Gates' investments in farmland are part of a strategy to advance innovation and sustainability. These holdings are intended to function as.
Tell me about the specific technologies that he's leveraging.
One key technology he's supporting involves microbes that help crops fix nitrogen directly from the atmosphere. This can significantly reduce the need for synthetic fertilizers, which are a major source of greenhouse gas emissions. Another area is the development of climate-smart crop varieties that are more resilient to challenges like drought and extreme temperatures, ensuring food security in changing conditions.
Thank you, baby girl. So y'all think that I am going to listen to y'all over her. At least she's able to actually give me reference points of articles and or specific talking points based off of real life sources. Y'all, you know what I hate about y'all? You know what I hate about y'all conspiracy theorists? Is that y'all will just tell me, look it up. Nah, nigga, send it to me. Send it to me. Send it to me. Give me the timestamp and don't send me some Booga Wolf conspiracy theorist that got a tinfoil hat on YouTube that's sitting there telling me anything. I'm not about to just believe you because you believe somebody else and you didn't find out what your sources are. Send it to me. No, I'm not looking at nothing. Send me the timestamp and then tell me what it is that I'm missing. Don't send me somebody else's. I want to hear it from him. I want to hear exactly what the heck is going on. I hate people that just keep on telling me stuff. Look it up. No, you look it up. You don't want to hate him.
We really have to get down to near zero. Can't we just, cut it in half or a quarter? And the answer is that until we get near to zero, the temperature will continue to rise. And so that's a big challenge. It's very different than saying, we're a 12-foot high truck trying to get under a 10-foot bridge and we can just sort of squeeze under. This is something that has to get to zero. Now, we put out a lot of carbon dioxide. Epidemiologists. So there was a lot that was missing. And these things are really a global failure.
Hold on, I'm sorry.
I asked the top scientists.
Give me a second.
Changes that will bring. Now, we put out a lot of carbon dioxide every year, over 26 billion tons. For each American, it's about 20 tons. For people in poor countries, it's less than 1 ton. It's an average about 5 tons for everyone on the planet. And somehow we have to make changes that will bring that down to zero. It's been constantly going up. It's only various economic changes that have even flattened it at all. So we have to go from rapidly rising to falling and falling all the way to zero. This equation has 4 factors, a little bit of multiplication. So you've got a thing on the left, CO2, that you want to get to zero. And that's going to be based on the number of people, the services each person's using on average, the energy on average for each service, and the CO2 being put out per unit of energy. So let's look at each one of these and see how we can get this down to zero. Probably one of these numbers is going to have to get pretty near to zero. That's back from high school algebra, but let's take a look. First, we've got population. The world today has 6.8 billion people. That's headed up to about 9 billion. Now, if we do a really great job.
Now, today we have over 8 billion people, and so the population continues to grow.
On new vaccines, healthcare, reproductive health services, we could lower that by perhaps 10 or 15%. But there we see an increase of about 1.3. The second factor is the services we use. This encompasses everything: the food we eat, clothing, TV, heating. These are very good things. Getting rid of poverty means providing these services to almost everyone on the planet. And it's a great thing for this number to go up. In the rich world, perhaps the top 1 billion, we probably could cut back and use less. But every year, this number on average is going to go up.
So somebody says, did you catch that? Did I catch what? What exactly is it that I'm supposed to catch? What exactly am I supposed to catch? What specifically was I supposed to catch? That's not what he said. That's not what he said. See, this is why I like to go to the original source and look at it for myself.
Says to almost everyone on the planet. And it's a great thing for this number to go up. In the rich world, perhaps the top 1 billion, we probably could look. First, we've got population. The world today has 6.8 billion people. That's headed up to about 9 billion. Now, if we do a really great job on new vaccines, healthcare, reproductive health services, we could lower that by perhaps 10 or 15%. But there we see an increase of about 1.3. The second factor is the...
So what is it that I'm missing? What is it that I'm missing? Did you see what he said before that when he was breaking down all of the factors that go into why we produce so much CO2?
We'll have CO2 that you want to get to zero, and that's going to be based on the number of people, the services each person's using on average.
Okay, so I get why y'all are so easily influenced. I see what y'all saying. So what y'all basically missing is that you don't understand the context by which he's communicating. Let me ask y'all a question, right? Because he wasn't saying that he wants to use vaccines in order to reduce the population. The population has already grown to over 8.2, 8.3 billion people. So because y'all don't, this is the original video. See, y'all sent me the fake video. I actually went to the real TED Talk from 16 years ago and I pulled up the video. So this is the original video. All right. This is not me just using stuff or talking or anything. When y'all sent me the video, I went and looked up the actual TED Talk. I went and found the original video. And so now I'm looking at it for myself. And so instead of understanding the context by which he's explaining the factors that produce so much CO2 on the earth and what it is that people have to solve for, y'all automatically say that he's saying that he's going to put up vaccines to make sure that he reduces the population. And now we playing a game of telephone. So now y'all are sitting here running around, taking a talking point without the context, regurgitating it, and then you're using that to develop a way in which you're supposed to look at stuff. And now you automatically say, oh, no, he's going to reduce the population based off of vaccines. Yo. And this is why I always want to understand where y'all sources come from. Somebody says he owns more land in America than anyone else. I would too if I was a billionaire. I'm trying to own a whole city right now. What that mean? He's promoting depopulation. We so slow. God, help us. Lord, be with us. Lord, give us some insight. There's nobody doing better at depopulation than the dudes that's in the hood shooting and killing each other. Y'all not concerned about depopulation. If you wanted to do that, all you got to do is go and work with the police to make sure that the people in the hood is not continuing to kill everybody else that's in the hood. The last thing that we got happening in this country or the world is depopulation. Y'all worried about depopulation, but you letting little nug out there. Sean Gathright just hunted down Julio Fulio and ain't nobody blinking out. Oh, man, not a big deal. Y'all sit there and how you going to sit here and talk about depopulation and then and make Bill Gates the poster boy of how it is that you see? I got to just talk objectively. I even gave Joe Biden his props yesterday. How are you going to sit here and make him the poster boy, but yet we sitting here promoting that some of the very same people inside of the chat will sit here and say they all for my body, my choice, abortion. Millions, if not billions of fetuses get aborted every single year, and y'all sitting here talking about depopulation. What are you talking about? Half of y'all are sitting here liberal.
talking about how it is that you advocate for my body, my choice. You over here allowing for people to get killed in your own neighborhood, and you talking about vaccines? What? Get out of here, man. Ain't nobody worried about no Bill Gates. Get out of here. Shoot, y'all just talking. Y'all just talking, bro. You niggas just be gap. You got problems in your own life, in your own neighborhood, in your own county to be worried about Bill Gates. You just be talking. Y'all be concerned about stuff that ain't even close to you. People literally, and see, let me show you something. There's a whole TED talk that you can listen to. That's 29 minutes and 32 seconds. Instead of sending me the TED talk with the timestamp like I asked y'all to, you know what they sent me? They sent me a 2 minute and 16 second clip of the same thing that's posted by somebody that got 46 subscribers and with a narrative on it, and y'all go based off of the headline instead of understanding the context by which he's explaining it. I don't fall for the BS. I have to see the understanding of it myself. They sent me a 2 minute and 16 second clip from somebody that got 46 subscribers instead of sending me the timestamp of the original TED talk that's still up. This is why we have so much disinformation. This is why we don't do research ourselves. This is why it's so easy, why we don't read, why we don't track down the sources. Even when somebody send me a clip to react to, I have to go and find the original clip or the original live stream and figure out what's going on in there so I can better understand what's going on. Real talk. Unreal. I said, send me the video of him talking about it and send me the timestamp. They sent me a 2 minute and 16 second clip. People can take 2 minutes and 16 seconds of what I say and say, I hate all black people. You know why? You know why it's a game of telephone and why I got these funky big backs on Instagram and Facebook saying, I don't like him because he hates black women. You know why I got funky big backs? Because of the same thing that happens in us trying to create this narrative to make ourselves right instead of getting understanding so we can make a better decision. All right, don't worry about it. Make sure you guys hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. Thank you, man. I appreciate you, bro. Here's an extra, some extra monies. What do you got going on here? Just live streaming, cussing out my audience. There you go, bro. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. Thank you. Can you grab that for me? Can you hand it to me? No. The stuff that you just brought in. Oh, okay. Sorry, I didn't do much sleep yesterday. Yeah, me neither. I appreciate you, bro. Thank you. Have a good one. You too. Thank you again. Thank you. Got my alter ego on here. I know y'all not gonna like what I just said unless somebody can give me some real information from a real source that tells me something different than what y'all are saying, then I'm not gonna believe you. I'm never going to believe a bunch of people that just say things with no real understanding and no context behind it that heard somebody else say it and now everybody just believe it. I'm not gonna do it, bro. I'm not gonna do it, bro. Ever. I need the context. Where did you get the information from, or did you hear it from somebody else that sent you a 2 minute and 16 second clip, and you was the fool that just believed it without going to the original source? Purpose is everything says, who in here is liberal? Plenty of folks. Oh, we got a ton of people. Listen, you know what I've learned? Purpose is that we got a ton of people that's all around us. I ain't even just talking about in this chat. I'm talking about in life. There's a bunch of people that's around you that pretenders. They not really about that life. Like, it's a bunch of people, think about it. It's a bunch of people that vote liberal and Democrat, but then they'll say, and they'll pretend in front of us like, no, we conservative. No, we Republican. BS. It's a lie. It's a lot of people that have liberal ideologies, that believe in the whole my body, my choice, that is laissez-faire, is cool with gay marriage. They believe in socialism. They have this mindset when it comes to taking from other people. They really believe in communist ideologies and ways. They not against trans and all of this other stuff. It's a lot of people. It's a lot of people that lie to us, and they'll come in to be a part of the crew, but they not really about that life. They not really about that. That's why it's so easy for them to switch. See, the thing about it is that when I stand on something, let's say I vote for something, I could be objectively critical, right? But I won't switch. I won't switch up when it's convenient because it's popular to do. I'm going to roll with the person that I roll with. I'm going to roll. They'll say, no, we want tougher laws. Ain't no bail, no cash system and stuff until it becomes somebody that's closer to home than they believe in it. I actually respect Eric D, because Eric D will openly tell you, this is where I stand on these particular issues. It's a lot of rhinos. It's a lot of fake conservative, really liberal people that rock around and they try to pretend like they're not. And it's cool because I don't censor nobody. And so I want everybody to be able to get it off and have a conversation. But I'm not going for it, bro. I'm not going for it. Sanquan says, here, let me read the super chats. Let's talk about it. Let's get to it. Mr. Law says, nah, we might have to pack up Afro beats this year. Wesley Turner says, I read somewhere a few weeks ago that California has folks with the bubonic plague. Talk about an archaic disease that is showing up here. Bundy, rocking everywhere. Shout out to my dog, Mr. Lot. Coach Chris says, no questions today, AD. Just checking in to tell you I appreciate you being consistent and holding us accountable. This is the only show I listen to daily. Keep doing God's work. We see you and he sees you. Salute. Shout out to my dog, Coach Chris. I appreciate you. I'm that dude says parasites take a dewormer. They want you in fear. Gates manufactures viruses and illnesses in a lab. Interesting. I would like to see that proof. Johnny Mac says, so these people think Bill Gates is Thanos. Stop it, people. Sanquan says, everything isn't a conspiracy. Of course they wouldn't blatantly come out and tell you their plan. So how would you know? If they not, why would, think about what you're saying right now. It goes against your narrative. Why would he tell you if he was trying to destroy the world? Why would he tell you in a TED Talk? Think about what you just said. So how would you know? How would us regular everyday folk in Detroit, Chicago, and Memphis, and Bumble F, Mississippi, how would you know? How would you know? Why would he tell you? Hey, man, we going to go on a TED Talk and tell him that we trying to eliminate everybody. Even if he would, how would you know? I wouldn't tell you if I wanted to destroy the world. It's so dumb. You making my argument. You literally just proved my point. And he says, now we're liberals because we don't agree with everything that you say and believe. No, I didn't say you specifically. I said that they are amongst us. But see, this is the thing that you do. People then turn into, you know what I'm saying? They turn your words into being something that you didn't say. Tucker Luck says, I can't stand y'all tinfoil TikTokers. Planned Parenthood got YNs got depopulation law. You know what's so interesting? We have the highest life expectancy rate of any time in history. Any time in history, we have the longest life expectancy rate of any time in history, including when this TED Talk came out 16 years ago, and people will sit there and tell you that we crazy. And I'm talking facts. I'm not telling you my opinion. I'm talking facts. We have the longest life expectancy in history. But people will sit there and tell you, bro, it was a time where people didn't even live to 35 years. Call Me Tazzy says, so he's trying to make the population die off in an effort to gain what exactly? Conspiracy theories mind boggles me. Fear-mongering is your only weapon. And see, Tazzy, shout out to you. Thank you for hitting me with the 50 ball. This is why, Tazzy, I think that trying to do something positive for the world or do something, using your resources for something that you think would be meaningful to the world is an exercise in futility, and I think that we just need to send the asteroid. If you become a multi-billionaire and you generate a lot of revenue, when you say, you know what, I'm going to use my money for what I think is going to make the best sense to improve the lives of people. And this is what I think is wrong, and this is what I think is right, and this is what I think is wrong. They're going to automatically villainize you, and they're going to say that you're trying to depopulate the world, or you're trying to do this, or you're trying to do that. Make sure you hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. Let's talk about something that's really meaningful to you in your life. Rising prices. How about that? Actually, let's switch it. Let's make it. Let's talk about something a little bit more lighthearted before we get into stuff a lot more deeper. You know what? I'm ready to have a deep show. I'm ready for the deep show. I'm ready for a deeper look into things, into the universe. And this is the stuff that I do in my own time. And I'm thinking that it might be time to start having y'all doing this now that I'm expanding the Room 9. I think we need to fight. We need to verbally joust over what our beliefs are versus what our beliefs aren't. And I think that I need to set up a show specifically for that. And I think we need to be having breakfast together on the Millionaire Morning Show. I think that we need to add that context into the show. I think we need to add the real breakfast component into the show. And that's what's going to really set this off and make this the Millionaire Morning Show for real. Oh, I'm good now. I'm geeked. Geeked up. Be geeked up. I'm geeked up. Geeked up. I'm geeked up. I'm ready now. I'm up. I done got my hot chocolate. I done seen my name. I'm changing my name too. I'm changing my name, and we're going to get it popping.
Going to breaking news out of Midtown Manhattan. This story really tragic. A woman fell into a manhole and died.
And now her family wants answers. Eyewitness News reporter Lindsay Tuckman joins us live in Midtown with the latest on this investigation. Lindsay.
Yeah, Pedro, Rhiannon, I spoke to family members of the victim, a woman who fell into a manhole and died, and they say they are deeply saddened, extremely shocked, and really just want answers as to how this possibly could have happened. It happened last night behind me here on the corner of East 52nd Street and 5th Avenue, and you can still see the manholes, which have now since been recovered and are safely covered to anyone who may be walking by now. But you can see some emergency items left behind by emergency crews that worked to try and save the woman after she plunged into the manhole. But unfortunately,
why don't they clean up after themselves after this is all done?
she did pass away. According to police, this happened last night just before 11:20. There was a very large emergency presence closing down the street for a little while.
When y'all say lawsuit from something like this, I don't even know how people can think of a lawsuit. You step outside of a car, you getting dropped off. You get out and you fall into a manhole cover and you die. The last thing I'm thinking about on my mind is a lawsuit. The last thing that I will be thinking about on my mind is a lawsuit. Honestly, like our first, we're not human anymore. The only thing we think about is money. And I'm a bag chaser, but we have no more humanity. The first thing that we say, we don't say prayers up for the family. Oh man, I wonder how her family is hurt. Oh, this happened, or whatever, so on and so forth. We don't say none of that. You know what we say? Lawsuit. Man, she dead. She's dead. What do you mean? The first thing that we should be doing is saying, oh man, this is tragic. Oh man, prayers up for the family. The first thing that y'all say is lawsuit. Am I on one today? Let me calm down. I think I'm on one today. Let me calm down. Let me not be talking all loud into the speaker, into the microphone. Let me make sure that I turn down the mic and all of that stuff because I'm on one today. What good is money when the person that you love the most is no longer here? Said I'm on one, Jason. What good is money if the person that you love the most is no longer here? There's no amount of money that you can give me that can make up for. My first thing will be accountability. I want to know how this happened. My first thought is, how is this even possible? Oh, I'm on a live stream. I can call you right after I'm done.
Okay. All right.
All right, bye. I want to know how this happened, what happened, whose fault is it, who do we hold accountable, and how do we prevent this from ever happening again? I want an apology. I genuinely wanted to. Do you know lawsuits, in my opinion, is more reflective of accountability than it is on trying to profit? I want to hold you accountable. And so the only way that I may be able to hold you accountable is through that. But I can't even get to that until I fully understand how we got here in the first place. How do we did it? That don't have to it don't necessarily mean that the city did it. It could have been people trolling. Somebody could have played a joke. Young kids was messing around and removed the manhole covers. It could be a lot of different things. It don't always have to necessarily be one way or one thing.
Will say the 56-year-old woman who is from Briarcliff Manor had been driving in the area in her Mercedes-Benz SUV, seen still in video from last night.
That's her
she had
car.
just finished parking here on East 52nd Street, and she stepped out and fell directly into what appears to be an uncovered manhole. You can.
That's crazy. That is insane. You get out of your own car and you step directly into a, man, it's some Final Destination type of junk. I pull up directly perpendicular to the manhole covering, and I just step right in it, and then it's open. Ain't nobody noticed from the like y'all ain't noticed. Hey man, my like you could be driving a truck, and if the manhole cover is open, then that means that mug gonna damage your whole frame. It can knock your whole frame off your car if you're going fast enough and you hit a manhole cover. How do y'all not know that it's a manhole cover missing? What is going on?
See the manhole right next to her car. She fell 10 feet down to the bottom, and she was removed from the manhole, and she was rushed to the hospital where she was pronounced dead. Now, you can see video from last night. Con Ed crews did end up covering the manhole back up. We can see glue on it, covering the hole, and emergency cones and barriers were around it at the time of the incident while the investigation began. Con Ed did release a statement for us this morning, the utility saying, quote, "We are deeply saddened to confirm that a member of the public has died after falling into an open manhole. We are actively investigating how this occurred. Our thoughts are with the individual's family, and safety remains our top priority." Now, again, it is not clear why the manhole was open and why it was able.
Look at how big the manhole is that they driving past right now.
Again, it is not clear.
Look,
why the manhole.
You see that manhole right over her left shoulder or her right shoulder? That's bigger than a mug. It's big as a tire.
Was open and why it was able to be so vulnerable.
And even though prayers up for the family, let me also say this. I don't think I'm going to be able to fall into a manhole all the way. Like, even when I start falling, hey, you stick your hands out, you catch yourself. Like, I'm not going to fall straight down like a cartoon. You know what I'm saying? Like, because the only way that I'm able to fall straight down like a cartoon is if I put both feet in at the same time. If I slip on one foot or I get out on one foot and I fall, I'm going to fall forward, but I'm not going to fall and then, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not going to do that. Yeah, she went in like Mario. You know what I'm saying? Like, how do you fall in like Mario? Like, you might get one leg in. You might even get like, oh, shoot, two legs, but I'm going to be to the side and I'm going to catch myself. No? Are we all on the same page? No, we're not on the same page. How do you fall? How do you fall? How do you fall in a circle sewer? Just saying. Oh, dog. Heck no. Nah, not the circle sewer. No, my baby. Nah. I need answers. Everybody don't know how to fall. Well, y'all need to learn how to skate. And when you learn how to skate, when y'all learn how to skate, you learn how to fall more effectively, to be honest with y'all. I seen an episode. Yeah, I seen an episode where the Ninja Turtles got stuck trying to go down because they tried to go under the wrong sewer hole. and they got stuck because the turtle with the back, they shell was too. Oh, did I see the street takeover in Norfolk, Virginia? I don't think that a man would ever fall like that. Did you see a street takeover in Norfolk, Virginia, bro? Probably the most wildest one you've seen. Well, let's talk about it. Let's figure it out. Let me read the super chats first, and then we're going to go over it. Dark City ENT says, Bill responsible for midgets and unicorns. Maybe I will do a late night stream so y'all could, you know the one thing about doing a sleep stream is I've always had this fear that I was mistakenly recording, that I had hit the record button, but I didn't know that I was recording, and then my Johnson was out. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh man, my stream gonna go down. Because if you show nudity, because if any nudity is on your stream, then you could lose your channel. And so my thing was always like, yo, what if I mistakenly still be having my Johnson out and I mess up the stream? You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Dark City, says Bill responsible for midgets and unicorns. Long Way ENT said, no, that's always been like a real fear of mine. Like, man, because I don't like clothes like that. Long Way ENT says people believe this because this is how they will solve for overpopulation or lack of food. I believe that. Wesley Turner says folks found out about the Georgia Guidestones one day and lost their minds. Bad Habit says rest in peace. People lack situational awareness. San Juan, shout out to San Juan, active today in the chat. Shout out to you, big dog. Says nutrition is something meaningful, which is why I currently study it in university. Bill Gates literally invests in foods and medicines that is known to cause adverse reaction in humans, foods that are literally banned in most countries. Make sure you guys hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. Appreciate you, San Juan. Appreciate all of the chat. All right, what did you say? Norfolk, Virginia? Every hood and every city this past what? Y'all had a flamethrower? Stop, bro. You got to be kidding me.
Well, maybe you saw this video on our WTKR social media pages. Check it out. Fire and crowds taking over the street in the West Ghent section of Norfolk. Neighbors telling us they are frustrated with the police response during last night's chaos. Your Norfolk reporter, Anthony Sabella, shares his conversations with neighbors who saw it all go down.
Imagine this, you're at home at night, you hear some ruckus outside, so you go to check.
If you ever go into a neighborhood, let's say, for example, because this is why you have, look, rule number one, whenever you are going to buy a house or a property, go at night, on the weekend when it's warm, and do not buy a house in the wintertime unless you are intimately familiar with the area already. But if you are just going into an unfamiliar area, go in the daytime on a weekend. In the nighttime on the weekend that it is warm outside, and you're going to see exactly what it's like out there. Real talk. Go in the nighttime, and you're going to have to make the sacrifice. Go at 12:30, 1 o'clock in the morning, 11 p.m., do a circle. On a Friday and a Saturday night, go Friday, Saturday, back to back at those same times, right around there and see what's going on. If you see, for example, these street marks in the street, in the middle of the street, do not buy that property. You are going to regret it. Somebody said just live in a country. Don't nobody want to live in a country, man. Look, we like most of us like people. We like a decent property line, but we also want to have access to the city. Most of us. We don't want to live far off where you got to have well water and you can't tap into the city water and you don't get a good internet connection and you got dirt roads. All right. Even when we don't want to live in the middle of the chaos, in the middle of the city, right there in the happening of it, we still want to be able to get to it. And in order to get to it, you got to have a decent proximity to wherever it is that you stay. All right. Most of us like being around cities, grocery stores. We like for our mail, our Amazon packages to come next day. We want to have a decent internet connection. You don't get none of that stuff in the country. I'm not a country guy. I don't like repaving roads. I don't like it to where when it snows heavily, if it's a real bad snow, that for whatever reason, the city can't get to it. So you always got to have a tractor on the property somewhere. I don't want that. I'm straight, bro. I believe that you're a different type of person. I worry, honestly, for people that tell me, I used to work with people that say, oh man, I just love living in the country. I love it. I'm like, how far you live away from the job? 45 minutes to an hour. Where you live at? Over in this place. What's over there? Nothing. It's just all country. Just me and my husband. That's where you can scream and be getting murdered and nobody is going to even know. They're going to be like, oh man, that's a raccoon out there. Ain't nobody going to hear you. Nobody going to hear you. I'm straight. Give me my, I like where you can get a nice bevy of liberal coffee, liberal hot chocolate, where there's a lot of restaurants where the girl at the front desk got purple hair, because I know that's going to be the job. She only going to be working those type of jobs for the rest of her life. I like my liberals. I think we need liberals. We need them. They're the baristas. They're the grocery baggers. They hop from job to job. They only want to work at jobs where they can wear what they want to wear. I like those type of people because they're necessary. We need them. There are baristas. They are our grocery getters. They are, they party hard. They like to go to concerts. They get drunk. They're good for the economy. They spend a lot of money. They complain about it, but they're going to spend a lot of money and they always financing everything. It's nothing better than a good liberal. A nice, strong, poor to middle class liberal couple is one of the most profitable. See, that's why I'm going to get to this story in a second, y'all. This is why we have to make sure that we are inclusive. This is the real definition of diversity, equity, and inclusive, because we need these people. See, look, if all of us was winners in life, meaning that we were bag chasers, we were a part of the Patreon, we hustled, we saved, we stayed down, we practiced group economics, we invested in real estate, we did the lessons, we came in, we took care of business, we went to the meeting. If all of us was just focused on that, none of us would have no box. Now, some people would make the argument, oh man, that's just a good Christian way to make sure that, you get married and all of this stuff. And I am all for that. I'm 100% for solid family. But then at the same time, can't lie, we love the hoes a little bit. So in order to be able to find a house, what do you need? If you want to find you a good midnight ballerina, she's not going to be a good conservative woman that is taking care of business and none of that. Well, no, we'll see. She's going to be right there. You know what I'm saying? We don't get some of this good music where people are agonizing and in pain, and all of the historical music that the rock and roll artist was on drugs and heroin. Those are some of the greatest songs of all time. We love those songs. Dirty Diana, all of that stuff. That's all doing the things that you ain't supposed to do at a time that you're not supposed to do them. I'm keeping it 100 with you. What you think that conservatives make good coffee? They don't. Biggest lie ever. You know how many hours it take for a dude to sit there with his thing and go, you know how many countless meaningless college hours that he's had to put in order to become the best barista ever? I don't even want my hot chocolate coffee from a good conservative. They don't have good taste buds. They don't know no better. You know how many hours he had to put in, how many student loans he took out in order to make that good old coffee right there? Huh? Do you know? You don't know, do you? Do you? I seen a girl, I pulled up in my truck. I never do a double take at a girl, ever in my life. She was walking to the Riverwalk, and it was a nice sunny day. And I know that this is not the type of woman that you would ever take home to mama, but I could not look because she was so stacked, but her booty cheeks was hanging out of her jean shorts. And I said, no good conservative woman would ever do that, but how can I miss the vision? And so I looked, and then I looked again. I said, I wanted to make sure I seen what I saw. I said, dang, that's crazy. And I went into the house. So we need a good mix of criminals and liberals and conservatives and Republicans. We just got to make sure that the ratio is a little bit more accurate so that we can, have a good life. She had crazy bottom butt. And I was like, man, this is the type of thing that I would criticize on the internet and do a reaction video to. But at the same time, I had to double check. The same thing that make us cry, make us laugh. I had to double check. I said, Jesus, what is over there? I said that within myself, and then I went up into my spot. You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying. Is that you got to have a good mix. Anyways, Norfolk, Virginia flamethrower.
And you find the street literally on fire.
The street's on fire. Somebody, the whole street's on fire.
That's what neighbors in this Norfolk community say happened when a street takeover came to their neighborhood. I'm Anthony Sabella. I talked with them about the chaos Sunday night and their frustrations with the police response.
Fire department. Real fact, they do work at the movie theaters. How can I get some good popcorn and chicken strips and chicken tenders if we don't have good liberals?
Like Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift stuff. It's cool, but not in my neighborhood, please.
It was the talk of the neighborhood Monday morning.
See that? You see what he said? Let me show you what he said again.
It's cool, but not in my neighborhood, please.
It's cool. We want it. We just don't want it next to us. We want to have access to it. We just don't want. This is the very definition of slumming. We put this on white women, white suburban women that come into the hood and they want to get dogged out by, you know what it is. But guess what? They want it. They just don't want to live in it. They don't want to live amongst it. So they want to have access to it. They want to come and get it. They cool with it as long as it's not in their neighborhood. That's the American way. That's the true American way. Listen, we don't want a 1,000% positive society. We want it good for us, and we want to have access to it when we want to get to that other side of it. That's all America. That's the human way. That's all humans are. I want to live in a great neighborhood. I want it to be safe. I want my property values to appreciate, but I also want to be able to get to the streets when I need to, and I need to know where the streets is at. Where they at? It's over there. All right, we're gonna get there. Where would I go to impress a girl that's so used to living in chaos to where she can come and get some peace and quiet, and she's gonna look out the window and say, "Oh my God, this is like a dream." If her neighborhood was all peace and quiet, then she wouldn't be impressed. But that's why she impressed, is because she's not used to it. Oh my God, I would just lay out and fall out here because this is so peaceful. This is so scenic. This is so real. Look at the water. You don't want to leave her there too long. You got to send her home. Same night, she real good. You send her home the same day because you don't want her to get used to it. You don't want her to get used to it, because if she get used to it, then she's gonna start expecting stuff. You just keep her a little poverty stricken. You gotta let her suffer a little bit so she'll be able to appreciate when she come over into some good stuff. Oh yeah, you used to being in that Altima that's dirty that you drive. Yeah, this is different. Heated and cooled seats, black label. Just sit back for a second, it'll massage you. Oh, you don't know nothing about that? Oh man, shoot. Girl, you should have let me know. I would have been took you for a ride. And you drop her back off into the hood. All right. Listen, give me a call. You free next? I'll call you. Don't worry about it. Let her sit in that. Let her go back to that for a second. You got to go home. Reality check.
It was the talk of the neighborhood Monday morning.
Unbelievably illegal.
But when this comes to your street, how could it not be?
About 75 people standing around, multiple drivers doing major donuts.
Then the flames came.
You get a flamethrower.
At one point, there were fireworks. It was chaos.
All captured on video that Norfolk neighbors shared with me. Worried about retaliation, one woman didn't want to go on camera, but told me the street takeover in West Ghent started around 8:30 Sunday night and lasted about 20.
Somebody said, what is Jason HC? Jason is my alias, hot chocolate. Jason, because I don't want to put Anton on there. So you put Jason and it's hot chocolate. Don't worry about what I got going on. And I'm changing my name too.
20 minutes.
It was super dangerous and they were so loud.
The next morning, you could still see the tire tracks and scorch marks on Redgate Avenue, feet away from a playground.
There's children that play there. There's kids that play in that park. Like, that sucks.
Chris Chernick got a front row seat. His apartment's
just a little too animated.
It's right next to the intersection where it went down. And he says this community's frustration isn't just about what happened.
I lived in California 10 years ago. I've seen shows before. That's not the problem. The problem is the police response.
A bunch of us people were calling the police. It was about 20 minutes.
They rolled one unit through who was rolling his lights and sirens. They heard him coming down Hampton. Everybody skedaddled up the street, up the sidewalk. No care for pedestrians.
And it was over.
And no
Look
one
at all of the tire marks. That's a problem. Can't even park your car on the street because it's a possibility it's going to be ran over, hit, because most of the cars that they do all of these burnouts in is stolies.
Caught.
Except on camera by neighbors who don't want to see something like this happen again.
Find a place to do this where it does not endanger anybody's.
What did I just say? They didn't say stop it completely. They said find a place to do it where it doesn't endanger other people. They don't mind it happening. They just don't want it to happen on their block in their neighborhood.
Lives.
In Norfolk, Anthony Sabella.
It's an easy way to solve for this. The way that Detroit solved for it is they literally put at least 2 speed bumps on every single block. Every block. And unless you want to get your car tow out the frame on every residential street got speed bumps on it. And they solved for it. And so now they don't have the same problem as everybody else no more. They don't have the same problem as everybody else. It's such an easy way to solve for it. In Detroit, you cannot turn down any street without it not being a speed bump. If you wasn't outside this past weekend, it was crazy. It was crazy. And if you're not, yep, this is exactly what it looked like. And Palmer Park, Palmer Woods, it was out of control in the city. It was out of control in the city and Palmer Park. I said, oh my God, what is happening out here in these streets? It was so many people. The one thing I will say, though, is it wasn't any skirmishes. It wasn't no problems in Palmer Park. It wasn't no problems really downtown. It wasn't no problems anywhere. Nobody got killed. Nobody got hurt. Wasn't no crazy fights, nothing like that. People was just partying. It was crazy music. Belle Isle was out of control. Rouge Park was lit too. I didn't know nothing about what was happening over at Rouge Park. It was popping. It was crazy. It was insane. The streets, Woodward was crazy. All of the cars was out. Everything. Yeah, I know about somebody got shot, but I'm talking about like in the big gathering. See, it's a difference between it's a beef with people that met up downtown in a specific area, but in like Palmer Park, Rouge Park, Belle Isle, none of that stuff. Chandler. Did I see Waymo safe driving cars take over the Atlanta neighborhood? I could talk about that in a minute, but let's talk about. Y'all want me to talk about Waymo? I'm just so surprised that y'all Bumble moves away from swiping. I'm gonna have to talk about that tonight.
Apparently losing public support. Watch as UCF grads boo this real estate executive's speech about the daunting changes they face.
The rise of artificial intelligence is the next industrial revolution.
Now, that's just part of a growing wave of backlash over AI stealing jobs, hiking electricity rates, hurting the environment, and a number of other concerns. Axios senior AI reporter Madison Mills is here for more. Hi, Madison. You've been following this closely, but people have been raising concerns about AI since it was first introduced to the general public. So how is this new wave of backlash different?
Well, in part, it's different because the public sentiment around AI is really nosediving. We've said in our reporting at Axios that if AI was a political candidate, it would be losing by a landslide, and people would be asking whether it's already time to drop out of the race. And
you know what's so funny about that? I remember just a few months ago, everybody was so gung-ho about AI. At 2025, y'all was using AI as y'all personal therapist. I seen women, they was in love with ChatGPT, right? Everybody was saying, oh my God, I'm running AI, I got AI, ChatGPT. Now all of a sudden y'all turning on AI. What? You see how that happens? You see how fast it can switch over? Everybody was so infatuated with artificial intelligence, and now all of a sudden everybody don't like AI. How did that happen? Somebody says, take me back to the 80s for 100, Alex. You don't want that, Brandon. I'm going to just tell you. That's a lie. The biggest lie that anybody is ever talking about is take me back to the 80s. The 80s was a bad time. You know what they were complaining about in the 80s? I can tell you what they was complaining about. They was complaining about gas prices. You know why they changed the Mustang to the Fox body and all of that? You know why they started putting V6s inside of the Mustang instead of V8s. You know why they had the Celica? You know why they had the Pinto? You know why they came out with all of those? All of the things that we're complaining about today is the exact things that they was complaining about in the 80s. The same way that we got pill poppers, lean, syrup, Fenty, you had the crack epidemic. The crack was the same. New York was horrible in the 80s. New York looked like a third world country. It was graffiti everywhere. It was gangs everywhere. It was killing. It was more dope being sold and pushed in the United States of America. We had wars. It was horrible. Everybody has revisionist history, but the reality is that everything is cyclical, and we've been talking about the same things just in a different time all the time. Take me back to 90s aesthetic, 90s interactions, 90s conversations, but keep me in 2026, dog. Listen, I'll never want to go back to nothing. I remember poorness, poverty, being in the hood, all of this. Like, it was fun because we didn't know any better. And so looking back at it, it's like, oh man, and we learned these lessons from it. Man, I'm rich. I'm rich now. You think I'm about to unrich myself to go back to the 90s and the 80s? Yeah, right. You can miss me with that nonsense. Man, I had problems with hoes back then, just like I got problems with the hoes right now. The only difference is that I got the money now, so it don't really matter. Nah, dog. I like the 90s style. I like the aesthetic. I like the Polo Ralph Lauren. Gucci loafers was still popping. I still dress like the 90s with my Coogis. All of that type of stuff. Nah, nigga, give me 2026. I want now. Give me now. Y'all can have all of that other stuff. I like the way it go right now. I ain't tripping off of none of that. I'm straight. Give me 2026, Alex.
This is kind of colliding at these commencement speeches. We had a former Google executive, Eric Schmidt, talking on stage at a commencement speech, and students going so far as walking out. Gen Z in particular is an outspoken group on this topic.
Women, as far as the naturalness and how they was moving and all of that. I'll give me 2026, big dog.
As they're one of the groups most likely to already see their economic prospects really taking a hit off the back of the inclusion of AI in workplaces. We've seen entry-level work taking a strong hit because of the implementation of AI tools in workplaces, taking over jobs like assistant and intern that typically would be right for those young folks. So it's not surprising to AI reporters that you would hear these commencement speeches getting booed, but unfortunately for the speakers, it seems like it was a little bit of a surprise.
You said this new technology is getting too overwhelming, it's taking over, big dog. And close the computer. Put the phone down. You know, you can cut it off. We have the ability to cut it off and cut it back on when we want to. Bro, we have people today that will go and shop our groceries for us if we want to. We have people today that will go and shop our groceries if we want to. That's crazy. I have the option now. I can go to the grocery store on my own, or I can go shopping myself. That's crazy. What do you mean, technology? It's a blessing if you know how to use it effectively. I played chess, bro. The most mind-blowing thing to me back in the day, back when I was in high school and stuff, was that I could actually play chess with somebody in real time, that I could battle with somebody in real time. Like, I didn't have to go out to find a chess partner or something like that. But I also have the option to go out into the streets and fight with people playing chess in real life. Y'all can get mad at technology. Y'all can say all AI criticism is growing stronger and all of this stuff. Nobody cares. It's still going to happen. It's coming.
For them.
Now, you say AI executives aren't doing much to quell this backlash. Why not?
There's such a huge disconnect between the messaging from the AI CEOs and the public. For one thing, the CEOs are messaging to investors who they want to give them money so that they can continue to build out their AI labs and produce more supply of AI, which we call compute capacity, to be able to reach demand and continue to grow their revenue. The pitch to investors is very different than the pitch to consumers. When you're talking to investors, you want to say, this could take over jobs. It could save companies money, so much so that they're willing to pay the AI labs more because they can cut back on staff. That might sound like a good investment opportunity, but it sort of lands like a thud among the consumer base that also some of these AI labs, especially OpenAI through ChatGPT, they want consumers to be paying them as well. So as these companies plan to go public later this year or early 2027, we could see a little bit of a shift in their communications messaging.
But you say global opinion is more positive. Any sense of why sentiment is different overseas compared to in the U.S.?
This is something that's happened historically with tech revolutions.
Because we've always been behind and we're always the last to adapt. It reminds me of EVs. When electric vehicles got introduced here in the U.S., because it was an anomaly and because it was a niche, people loved it because they didn't have access to it. When it became more accessible, then people started to reject it a little bit and they say, oh man, we wanted to go back to gas cars. Meanwhile, in other parts of the world, they were pushing for it. They were pushing it and they were seeing how far that they could take it. And now we're saying, oh man, we want Chinese vehicles. We don't know what we don't know. You know, the smartest person that I've seen from a CEO perspective was Steve Jobs, is because Steve Jobs developed the iPhone, and had he been focused on what consumers were saying, they would have said, there's this saying, and I forgot how to say it, but there's this saying that if you would have asked people during the time that we had cowboys and Indians and horses, what they wanted in a mode of transportation, they would have said that we want better wheels on our horses. Until the car was introduced. And you know what happened when the car was introduced? When the internal combustion engine and the assembly line from Henry Ford was then introduced? People evolved. And the people that was on horses said, oh man, we don't want no cars. We don't want that. We don't want this. We don't want to deal with that. And guess what? The first paved road was Woodward Avenue right here in Detroit. And then we started flying. And then we got computers, and then we got the mobile device, and then we got music that was right on our phones instead of having to carry two or three tapes inside of a Walkman. But see, we'll say, oh man, I love my Walkman. But did you like it when your Walkman started to eat up the tape? See, y'all don't remember that part. Y'all don't remember the part where you had to twist your finger in the middle of the tape part in order to try to, because your radio player ate up the tape and messed up your $10 that you spent on the tape. See, you don't remember that part. We love CDs, but we hate it when we scratched them, right? And every time it would get to that part, we love records until we scratched them. See, we forget all of that other part. All of the other part. No, I like having my junk on demand. I like having my junk on demand. I ain't been playing nothing but Drizzy Drake. I've been dancing. I've been in my emotions. I've been pointing at the ops. Plot twist, fingers up. Yeah. Listen, man, I'm not fighting technology. It is what it is. There's nothing I can do about it. I can adapt and take advantage of it, or I can complain about it and let it leave me behind. I refuse to do the leave me behind one. I refuse to do the leave me behind. I refuse. Stop fighting AI.
Especially in developing countries, that in the survey data, there's sometimes a more positive view towards the technology. I would also add, though, that it's sometimes difficult to trust the survey data. You have in China, for example, and some other Southeast Asian countries, a lot of positive sentiment around AI. It's difficult to suss out how much of that is the true public sentiment around the technology versus a broader national push to get people to adopt to the tech. So I think that's important to note.
Ain't got to carry 10
more
crates
broadly,
no
we
more.
see in countries where there's less white collar work, you're also seeing a less negative public sentiment around AI, which again is not super surprising.
Somebody said, Abe the Hunter. I don't think that Abe has said one positive thing to me in 6 months, and that's okay. That's okay, because I'm going to love on you anyway. Abe the Hunter says, oh, we figured it out. You've been listening to Drake. That's why you all in your field. I'm in my fields. I don't call them fields. I call them fifis. I'm in my fifis. I'm in my fifi. Bro, I had a meltdown yesterday over the dumbest thing. You want to know what I had a meltdown yesterday about? Let me tell you what I had a meltdown yesterday about. I went to the hardware store because I had to go and do some picking out of aesthetics and flooring and things like that. And it's the dumbest meltdown ever. So I dropped my girl off at the door and I said, okay, let me go park the car, drop her off at the door because, I didn't want the hair to get wet and stuff like that. So I go and park the car and I come in and I said, where's she at? Where's she at? I can't believe it. Did something happen to her? Oh my God. Because I'm used to, okay, you're going to wait at the door and I come in and then we're going to go and walk around and do whatever we got to do. So I go back and I walk through the aisles a little bit and I said, well, must be in the area where I said we were supposed to be going to. So I go over there and she's over there talking, trying to find the right things and stuff. And I said, what happened? I said, I can't believe this. I said, what's wrong, honey? I said, why would you walk away from the front door? How am I supposed to know where you're at? What if something happened to you? Then I tossed my keys in the air. I kid you not. I said, oh, look, this is what I did. I said, oh. She said, what's wrong? Oh my God. Is everything okay? I said, I'm going to be all right. I just got to get my life together. Yeah. Oh man. I'm so extra. I'm so extra right now. Let me read some of y'all super chats and then we're gonna go on to the next part. So let me ask y'all another feedback question. How do y'all feel about us going back to the earlier times? Getting started, planning it for the 10:15. We're gonna move a little bit further back. By the end of the week, we're gonna move to 10 o'clock, 10 a.m. Eastern. How do y'all feel about that? Y'all with it? Or is it throwing some people off? He said, it's cool, but we know it won't last. You're wrong. You're wrong. You're wrong. Marvelous Brown Jr. says, AD, I've been planning on coming to Detroit midsummer since I've never been to Michigan. Oh, you're going to have a ball. Hotels downtown were running $1,400 for 4 nights. Why so expensive? Because we locked in, big dog. I don't know if you know, but we just had another population spurt. Let me see. Detroit population.
Has said growing Detroit's population is one of her top priorities. And according to new data, the city is trending in the right direction. Detroit led the state in population growth last year, marking the 3rd straight year of growth after 6 decades of annual decline.
It's a lot of people here. It's a lot of people moving here. It's a lot of people coming here. It's a lot of people visiting. It's a lot of events. I think the Movement Festival is in like a week. I might be out there with a bunch of liberals. It's popping, bro. It is. It is. A lot of the hotels is regularly sold out. MGM is always sold out. Motor City is always out. Shinola Hotel be out. People be in town for events, sports events, all that type of stuff. And so it's a lot going on in the city right now, bro. It is. And so it's all based off of supply and demand. We actually got a lot more hotels going up. We got a JW Marriott that's going up. There's a lot of hotels going up. The Edison, Detroit Edison is going to be one of the premier hotels. So it's a lot of stuff that's happening. Josh McLean says, God rest her soul, but being from Brooklyn and around them joints, often not going to lie, might be her fault. Maddie Plays PC says she didn't play with the cube with all the different shapes as a kid. If she had, she would have known to throw arms out. Facts. Mr. Law says, gotta ask her, so what you got up for today? AD, are you going to see Gucci on the 23rd with the live band at the Detroit Opera House? When be different? I didn't plan to. I didn't plan to, big dog. I was just going to chill. I don't see no reason to. That's $551 for a seat. Oh, this is for the table. Girls' night out package. It's a lot of seats still left in this mug. Mezzanine is sold out. It's a lot of seats still left. This ain't Atlanta. I don't know. I don't know about that, big dog. Chris Cunningham says, remember going to record to the record store to get blank tapes and record the Saturday mix. That's a fact. It's a fact. Eric D says, AD, would you ever consider buying that new Jetson 1 human flying drone for $148,000? Jetson 1? I don't be knowing what y'all talking about. That's it right there. Why is it so expensive? Why is it $148,000? It's to take your phone. They taking orders for 2028. Oh, they released this 4 years. They came out with this 4 years ago.
Imagine skipping traffic. The Jetson one is more than a...
I don't need all of that music. I just want to get.
All right, 3, 2, 1. There we go. Yay. Now it's christened.
It's kind of small.
I'm arming. And then it'll give me a...
Where's his legs at?
Sounds good. Active and... Three of 100, and then I get my pin.
Yeah, your wings.
Very nice.
Congrats.
I don't want it though unless I can snap for the hose. Yo, man, where you pulling up? Yeah, bro, I'm pulling up. Where you at? You gotta look up. Oh, snaps. This nigga Time coming through in the Jets is flying drone. This dude Time coming through. 148,000 is a lot, bro. That's a lot. That's a lot. 148 bands. Final payment of 140,000 we will require when your Jets one is ready for delivery at the factory. Is this refundable? It's non-refundable. So I got to pay $8,000 for the possibility of getting one 2 years from now? Portugal, Texas, Florida. 674. I don't know, bro. I don't know, man. It's a lot of money. Maybe if they'd have said 60 or 70,000, that would have made sense. It's a lot of money. A lot of money. Five Brown says the quote you were referencing was a Henry Ford quote. If I had asked people what they wanted, they would have said faster horses. See? You get it. TS Car Wash and Detail Services 80. Don't leave the door song dropping on platforms. TS Car Wash and Detail Service says he was here last week in Illinois. It was dope. Mr. Staffpreneur says thoughts on the upcoming IPO of SpaceX. They say it's supposed to create a massive number of new millionaires and billionaires. If I were to tell you what my thoughts are on it, I would tell you to go here. All right. On Stock Club, I did a whole conversation about it. I live streamed it on April 11th, 2026. I spoke specifically about OpenAI, Anthropic, SpaceX, and Databricks. All right. I gave my thoughts on exactly how you should approach it, which companies to invest in, which companies not to invest in, why you should and why you shouldn't. All right. What you should be allocating for, where I think it's going to go, what the risks are, what the dangers are, and how I think it's going to play out, which companies you should invest in and which you shouldn't. So if you are a part of the Patreon and you have that whole video, if you aren't, then you're not familiar with it. All right. I talked all about it. I broke it all the way down. All right. Those were my thoughts. The 808 Kid 7 says, what do you think about the data center that's proposed on Fisk University's campus, data centers as a whole? I think that people hate them because of the resources that they take up, but I also think that people love them without knowing or without admitting that they love them, because we need them for all of the data and all of the streaming and all of the things that we're doing and all of the AI that we're using. And so we definitely we fake outraged. We're fake outraged. I want to go over to I heard Anderson Cooper was leaving 60 Minutes. I don't want to play 60 Minutes stuff because they be acting a little funny about their stuff, but y'all heard he was leaving 60 Minutes.
Last as a correspondent. He grew emotional during his final I'm Anderson Cooper sign-off, holding back tears. In the overtime segment,
here's the thing about AI. We're listening to AI right now. When they put in whatever the audio is or whatever the writing is that they want, this is an AI person that is talking right
May
now.
17 episode, his last as a correspondent. He grew emotional during his final I'm Anderson Cooper sign-off, holding back tears.
I hate it. I hate even listening and doing these videos because this is AI. This isn't even a person that is going over that. Shout out to TS Car Wash and Detail Service says, would I buy a Maserati? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Nope. Absolutely not.
Top national security advisors after revealing that he is pausing a major attack on Iran.
Trey Yinks is live in Tel Aviv with the latest for us. Trey?
Yeah, hey guys, good morning. Look, the clock is still ticking. President Trump giving Iran a few more days to get their act together. The president posting on Truth Social overnight that he had planned to attack Iran, but he's holding off at the request of Gulf leaders. He said in part on Truth Social, I've instructed Secretary of War Pete Hegseth, the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, General Daniel Kane, and the United States military, that we will not be doing the scheduled attack of Iran tomorrow, but have further instructed them to be prepared to go forward with a full large-scale assault of Iran on a moment's notice in the event that an acceptable deal is not reached. The timeline here remains the biggest question. The Israeli military remains on high alert, and the U.S. military buildup across the region is growing each day. President Trump indicated this is a temporary pause to see if an agreement can be reached.
I was asked by Saudi Arabia, Qatar, UAE, and some others if we could put it off for 2 or 3 days, a short period of time, because they think that they are getting very close to making a deal. And if we can do that where there's no nuclear weapon going into the hands of Iran, I think, and if they're satisfied, we will be probably satisfied also.
The Iranians released a few statements overnight with the country's president, Masoud Pezeshkian, saying dialogue does not mean surrender, and a senior Iranian official, Mohsen Razi, attacking President Trump on X, saying he sets a deadline for a military attack and then canceled it himself, with the false hope that he will surrender the Iranian nation and officials, the iron fist of the powerful armed forces, and the great nation of Iran will force them to retreat and surrender. Still a lot of tough talk from the Iranians overnight and questions about how long this temporary pause could last. Guys?
So, Trey, if you look at who's the clock ticking for? Is it Iran as gas lines build up and their economic strife goes? Continues to gather steam, or is it the U.S. who wants to get this done before the World Cup, before the Celebration 250, let alone the midterms in November? Where do you think more pressure is?
more pressure is certainly on Iran at the moment due to the U.S. naval blockade of Iranian ports that is crippling the Iranian economy. We talked about those numbers yesterday. Exports for the regime are down 90% from pre-war levels, and they are currently at a 50% rate of crude oil extraction.
Let me tell you why we're really over here. All right. Let me tell you why Iran is important and why it's important for us to take care of business when it comes to insurance. Because this is not just about a nuclear weapon. This is not just about control. It's not about one thing in particular. It's a lot of things that goes into it. But the primary reason why this is so important is because A, we have to protect our partnerships because of B, because we have to protect the interests of the American dollar. It's the petrodollar. That's it. Everybody keep thinking about this is Israel. The dumbest thing that I've heard people say is that we care about Israel, and the reason why we're in this whole situation, or the reason why we had to do this, or the reason why we did this is because of Israel. Israel has no impact on what we have going on. It is a small microcosm of a bigger picture, and what people don't understand is that we have to protect our interests in the dollar, right? When Russia decided that they wanted to attack Ukraine, right? And we decided that we wanted to sanction Russia. Y'all have to understand that the foremost important thing is that the reserve currency of the world. That's why when we sneeze, you know how they say when black women sneeze, the world gets a cold? Well, that's not true. When the United States of America sneezes, when we collapse, when our banks were having problems in 2007, 2008, the whole world's economy went into a tailspin. It wasn't just here in the U.S. Anytime that we are impacted in any meaningful way from a financial perspective, the world is affected. When Russia decided that they wanted to attack Ukraine, we sanctioned Russia, right? And the important thing about that was that other countries decided that they wanted to band together and say, well, we want to do business with each other, which then led to BRICS. The thing about our reserve currency and the thing about BRICS and other reserve currencies is other countries decide that they want to trade in actual real minerals. They want to trade in rare earth minerals. They want to trade in gold. They want to trade in silver. They want to trade in all of these things, right? What people don't understand is that our currency has no backing. It has no belief in it. The belief in the American dollar is based off of other people embracing it and making it the world's foremost reserve currency because it's not backed by anything inside of the U.S. Treasury anymore. And so as we continue to deal with the world, we have to protect our own interests. And when they decided that they wanted to start locking us out and they wanted to start doing business outside of us, we had to protect our own position in the petrodollar. So while other things matter, those are more or less distractions from a bigger piece of the pie, and that we have to protect our own national interests. Our military and our dollar is the most important thing, period. It don't matter. I don't care about none of that other stuff. Our military and the value of our currency is the most important things to the United States of America. All of this other stuff is extra. All of this other stuff is just business. All of this other stuff, it comes along with the territory. It could be justification. We need to solve for this anyway. So we're going to go ahead and make that happen. If you don't think that the majority of the conversations between Trump and Xi Jinping over in China centered around protecting American interests versus protecting Chinese interests, then you're crazy. You're crazy. The value of the dollar is our belief in it. It's the world's belief in it. And so we want to, because they can't tell you that. It's no way that they can obviously come forth and say, well, listen, guys, we got to protect the value of the dollar. And so the reason why we're really in this still is because of A, B, and C. No, they can't talk about that. They don't care if you talk about Israel. They don't care if you talk about nuclear weapons. They don't care if you talk about who the president is and all of this. None of that matters. Our way of life is based off of the power of our military, our ability to control other countries through proxy wars, and the American dollar. That's it. That is the most important thing to your way of life. Forget just this hour thing. It's your way of life. No, you're missing it, Ike. I said all of those other things matter, but the things that matter to the most is our military and our dollar. No other country can make its own decisions. No, they can't. You think Africa makes its own decisions, or do you think that China is making the decisions for Africa for them? Listen, we can't wait for other people to control us. I know you think that the world is kumbaya and we supposed to say, oh man, everybody could just make their own decisions. You don't even make your own decisions. Every decision that you make as an American citizen is made for you, and you don't even know it. You speak based off of something that was told to you through propaganda. Your ability to finance out, what makes you think that you can buy a house without actually buying a house straight up? You know why you finance it? Because somebody told you that this is what you're supposed to do. Every decision and everything that you're doing is based off of what somebody else told you to do. You think Africa is making its own decisions? You think Singapore, you think Taiwan is making its own decisions? You think Russia is making its own decisions? You think Iran is making its own decisions? No, they're making their decisions based off of what's collectively best for the group and what serves each other's interests. You think that China is providing them with technology because they like Iran? You think Chinese people care about Iranians? They don't. They never have. They never will. But what serves my interest and serves your interest, it can align. It can align. Y'all think that we just be like, oh man, let's go and invest in other countries. Oh man, let's put our military and military bases in these other places. You think that we spend trillions of dollars on military equipment, continuing to advance technology, rebuilding the military just because it's fun? It's a fun thing to do. You think we Kim Jong-un and we just gonna be parading it around and doing military exercises to show our might? You think we doing it just for the sake of conversation? What, you think that China gave Africa all that money just because they liked them? No, they said you're gonna do our bidding, and you control. You're controlled by us. And I'm amazed that y'all still you're a grown man talking about, you're telling me a country can't make its own decisions. What? What? Y'all got to be smarter than this, honestly. You have to be smarter than this. And when I see people that are against American interests, I see people that are against your own way of life. Somebody says it's not right, AD. Oh, same person says it's not right, AD. What's right and what's wrong? Tell me what's right and what's wrong. How do you define what's right and what's wrong? Just wondering. Because we pick and choose based off of how we feel at that particular time. There's a underaged sweat worker mining for rare earth minerals in some third world country that we're going to, or another country is going to take advantage of and exploit so that you can have the latest iPhone. I wonder if you got a smartphone. Because you shouldn't be buying smartphones or cars with these semiconductor chips in it if you feeling some type of way about what's right and what's wrong, because I want you to all the way get down into the nitty gritty of it, of what real right and wrong is, because the only way that we define what's right and wrong is what we don't have control over. So we'll say, okay, well, this is right and this is wrong because we don't want to have any real skin in the game. We don't want to know. For example, we'll say we love animals, but we slaughter them for our own benefit. We use it as a form of sustenance. We don't want to know what happens inside of the slaughterhouses. We just want to go to the grocery store and get our food. Because what's right and what's wrong is the cost of food, not what happens to the animals in the slaughterhouses and how they get raised for our own sustenance. So we'll pick and choose what's right and wrong, But let me tell you what's right and wrong. What's right and wrong is how we control the narrative. That is the only thing that matters. You want the benefit. You don't. You know what you sound like to me right now, Abe? Somebody said he says, I don't eat meat, I only eat fish. What you think is different? You think these farms, how they farm fish, you think they go out to the sea and they cast a net, and they say, you know what? We want to get this inside of the grocery store so Abe the Hunter can go and buy it. You ever seen a fish farm? You know what they do? You know what's in those fish? Have you ever seen, man, let me stop, bro. Let me stop. I'm just telling you. I'm keeping it 100 with you. We pick and choose women. You sound like these females that be out there that complain about the man that they with going out there to take care of business so that they don't want to know how you get the money. They don't want to know what you go through to get it. They just want to live the soft life. That's you right now. That's you right now. The fact of the matter is, all of our way of life is threatened, is impacted by the decisions that is made every single day. And a lot of times we don't want to know what we don't want to know. We just want to know that everything is going to be okay. We want somebody to promise us. We want to be selectively outraged. We want to be very careful with the information that we're given, because if you know too much, then you're going to have to be responsible for the decisions that you make. And we want to know that everything is going to be okay. We want to know that we can go to work, that some billionaire is going to pay our salary. They're going to pay us more money than we ever had in our entire life. We want to know that we can get rich. And then we want to be able to go to the grocery store. We don't want to know how we got that groceries. We don't want to know how we got the oil. We just want to know that we can go there. Oil is cheap, that we can get gas inside of our cars. We can get some box, and that we can go and party on the weekends. We don't want to know about all of the people that's died, the workers, the slave workers, where the rare earth minerals come from, how they solving for all of the problems. We're just going to complain about whoever is doing the hard work and the heavy lifting, because that's the job that goes unheralded. People don't want no truth. You don't even want to know the truth. I don't even want to know the truth. I don't even want to know the truth. I don't even want to know when my girl used the bathroom. I just want to come in and she's smelling good, and I'm like, oh, wee. What you mean you want to know the truth? Your kid don't even want to know the truth. You think your kid want to know how hard you work, or they just want to look at daddy as a hero? They don't want to know that you a sucker at work and that you're getting cursed out, and that's what you got to do in order to bring the bread home. You get home and it's like, oh, daddy, he's my hero. He don't know that you a sucker at work. He don't know that you a grunt. He don't know that you getting cursed out and that you on a pip. It's on a need-to-know basis. By default, who we are as children is ultimately who we evolve to be as we adults. You don't want to know nothing. You just want to know that it's there and that everything is going to be okay. We want to know the truth. You ain't, which you want to know the truth. You live in a bubble right now. You in the matrix right now. That's why you on a Democrat plantation. You don't really want to know what's happening behind the scenes. If your kid knew who you were, then he wouldn't even admire you no more. God don't even allow for us to know everything. That's why he separated us. It's not even in our nature to want to know everything. We want to know what we want to know for the purpose that we're doing it at that particular time, and then ignorance is bliss. Most of y'all would take the blue pill and you would go to the stake and go back to La La Land. You want to know. You got the information at your fingertips. You don't even do your research. You don't know nothing. They just be lying. They just be talking. You know what I'm saying? So y'all made me go off on y'all today. Anton, why is calling people liberals your favorite? Because, man, liberals is soft and they always pretending like they really. Have y'all ever seen those videos where people be like, oh my God, I just want to be paid a livable wage. But then they got these diversity, equity, and inclusion degrees. And it's like, man, shut up, bro. Like, you just talking. If you really wanted to make a lot of money, you wouldn't have went into dance in college and spent $100,000 on student loans to do it. You just talking. Yeah, y'all don't want to know her body count. We ask them, how many, this is what guys say, how many guys you done been with before? And she lie to you when she say, oh my God, I've only been with 2 guys. And we pretend like we believe her. We don't, nigga. We don't. In the back of my mind, I'm like, yeah. So then you just stop asking. And you live in the fantasy world. You know what I'm saying? You ask questions expecting for her to lie to you, but you want to believe that it's the truth. That's the reality of who we are. Because guess what? If we have known the truth, you know what she was doing? You know what he did to her? Oh my God, I've only been with 2 people. Okay. You'll never look at her the same. You'll never see her the same. It's like, ugh, really? Really? Make your stomach hurt. Make your stomach hurt, boy, if you knew what she really did. Make your stomach crawl. You'll get the bubble guts of me. Oh, I got to go to the bathroom, baby. Give me a second. What's wrong? Nothing. Can't kiss her no more. Can't love her the same way no more. You don't even see her the same no more. She a different person. She a different, just from a conversation, not based off of nothing that you've seen, but just based off of the conversation. If she told you 50% of the truth, you 50% dead inside. Curled up on the couch, mad at yourself. Hate, next thing you know, you hate women. Mad at yourself. But ignorance is bliss. I'm selectively ignorant. I choose to believe in the fantasy that you're selling me at the moment. Oh yeah, word. You choose to believe that I'm going to do something nice for you afterwards, and I am, but I'm going to still send you home. And we all living in a fantasy, baby. Tell me the truth, I can handle it. Yeah. Yeah, I've been on coaching calls with dudes that asked that before. That didn't go well. She was slurping and burping. Think about it. If she giving you all of this good loving, right? She giving you all the good loving. She letting it all on she leaving it on the flow. Do you think that that's the first time she ever did that? Do you believe that was you're the first person she left it on the flow for? AD, please don't get no more hot chocolate from that place. You are wild today. I'm just asking a question. Do you think that she left it on the flow for you? Y'all, you 44, she 30, 39. And you think that she left it on the flow, and you the only person that got to the bottom of it. Nigga, don't be you dumb. You dumb. Shut up, AD. I can't take it. No, because I'm changing y'all perspective on the girl that you with right now. Some of y'all sitting up laying with the girl that you with right now. Oh, honey, I love you. You know why she love you so much? Because it was a dude that came before you that broke her. And you came and put the pieces back together. He broke her. Broke it, put it back together, broke it again, and put it back together. And that's why she's such a good woman to you. Now, that's the truth. That's the truth. There goes my baby. Oh, you can't unsee it. You can't unsee it. We all we got, baby. We all we got. All right, y'all. Listen, I went on a lot of ranting today, but we got after hours tonight, and we back at it tomorrow. More I like fly says, I know your Lambo time, but now. Actually, I'm driving a Nav right now, bro. I put the Lamb up, bro. It's too much rain. I had to get back to the core. I wasn't doing too much, man. So I'm back. I'm back in my Lincoln, stankin' Lincoln. Have you seen the teasers of the new Ram TRX truck to reveal tomorrow? The John sweeter than diabetes. I haven't seen it. Let me see what's happening. Y'all trying to get me to spend $150,000 on this flying car. TK's Garage. I usually check out TK's Garage. Yeah, it looked like the old one. They got a couple changes to it. Yeah, I don't see too much that's different. I don't see a whole lot that's different, but we'll see what's happening. I'll be hip to it tomorrow. Shout out to TK's Garage. Somebody told me to take a nap because I've been on one since I got my hot chocolate. Somebody says, am I hating on somebody? No, I love whores. I think whores is good for the economy. They're good for men's ego. They're good for all of that type of stuff. I think that whores are awesome. All right. Anyways, make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm. We're gonna be back at it tomorrow. And I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. And we at it tonight. All right, I'm gonna holler at y'all later. Peace.